Welcome to Stories to D4. I'm Matthew, your dungeon master this evening, and we've got a really fun night planned. So, tonight's going to be a little bit different from what you may have heard before if you've joined us on our Elts campaign on Twitch or on YouTube. Tonight we're doing a special one-shot. It's going to be a little bit shorter of a tale, but it's going to have just as much combat, action, passion, and shenaniganry. But before we get started, we're gonna go around the table. I'm gonna introduce you to some of my players here tonight, some familiar and some of which don't get as much time in front of the camera as the others. So let me go ahead and bring up, hey everybody.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's been a while since the last Elt session, and it always, no matter when we play, it always feels like it's been too long, for me at least, sitting behind the screen.
We play every day, you know.
I would love to play every day. They're gonna be slightly shorter sessions. If they're 4 hours now, 3 hours is what I would require.
Okay, we will now hold you to that.
I'm not traveling for that.
I'm trying to think of the timeline. Oh, it's so much.
It'd be a lot of, think about the driving that would be involved.
When would I eat is my problem.
Fair.
During session.
It would be a part-time job for me in hours of
Yeah.
driving.
You know, while we're early in, I want to actually mention that this is going to be one of the first times here on Stories to D4 that there are going to be some people who are actually joining us who may not be seeing us at all, as we are going to be we're going to be releasing an audio-only version of this session. So when we're going around here, I'd love to. Let's have everyone introduce themselves. Who you're playing tonight. Maybe if you want to tell us a little bit about yourselves. I'm the boring one. I'm just Matthew. Don't worry about me. Let's continue around the table. Why don't you start?
All right, I'm Victoria, and tonight I'll be playing a Tabaxi monk named Dewdrops on Grass, who may or may not remember where she came from. Can't find it on a map, at least.
Getting lost is rough.
Who knows?
All right. Well, I'm really excited to see her in action.
She really drops the ball when it comes to her location.
So if you were given a map, would you be able to
No.
find? Oh, okay. Got it.
Can you read? I used to not have to
You're
ask
like
this
the
question.
full definition of lost.
I can read, I just don't actually remember what continent I'm from because it was never important for me to know because I lived there.
Sure.
So, like, why would I know the name of where I live?
I can't argue with that logic.
I mean, it's logical.
Well, you can't argue, but you can introduce. Why don't you go next?
Hey, I'm always happy to talk about myself. My name is Jake. I'm going to actually be rolling a pirate tonight. His name is Archie. He's got a little bit of a compass when it comes to being a sailor, but maybe not so much as being a moralistic human being. We'll find out more as we go.
A little bit of moral ambiguity.
That's a good way to put it. He is just there to make sure everyone gets paid appropriately.
Okay. And your characters have been making a bit of money for a while, as we'll hear in just a second. What about you, boss? Who are you playing tonight?
My name is Alex. I'm playing Theodore Von Grisley, the Ancestral Guardian Barbarian.
Okay.
And he is here to show that he is the strongest, can take the most hits, and to make sure that his allies don't die.
Hey, I like that. A little bit of punch, a little bit of take the punch. Living life in balance is really important.
Can we move number 3 up higher on the list?
And most importantly, rage.
Oh, that's number one.
Okay.
It is
Can
very
number
important.
2 be the third one?
Number 2 should also be rage, and then everything else in sequence.
This is the most numbers a barbarian has used in quite some time.
My
There's
intelligence
12
is
numbers
11.
on their Discord die.
Yeah, there are 12 numbers on the best die.
Oh my god, I thought you were talking about a general. I was about to have a panic.
Okay. All right. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm Clella. I'll be playing Thist Lux, a Fire Genasi warlock. Thist is someone who less fell in with the wrong crowd and more of had a bad day, saw the opportunity, and dove in feet first.
Okay.
So, that's all I'll say.
I like it. A bit of impulsivity is kind of needed, especially on these one-shots. And last but not least, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Connor. I'll be playing Jorson. He's a wizard. Jorson's involved in the Battlesphere, looking for a particular item. Didn't come here really for glory, just to get something.
Okay, and there's some. I noticed. I caught some smirks around the table. We're all a little bit excited. Unlike most of these characters have. This is going to be their first completed session that they've ever done. We've done some test encounters. We've made sure all the numbers and the character sheets are fine, but they're fresh ideas. Jorson, who's changed quite a bit since we last saw him, actually was from a previous campaign.
Yeah, the we keep calling it Hell's Campaign on the
Yeah, the Hells.
on Twitch, but it's the Descent into the Avernus. We did a few sessions of that.
Yeah, we got pretty deep in that book. We had a whole party of, it was 4 occasionally, and with a 5th, elves descending into hell to deal with what's done there. No worries though. This one shot should not be really. We're not really touching upon anything to do with any published material. Okay. Is there anything else here before we get started with our second one shot? Oh, where are my manners? I should mention. Now, Alex, we've heard your voice a little bit on the Elts stream, but you're typically. Huh?
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. We've heard you a little bit, but you're actually normally sitting and handling the mixer, helping keeping our audio quality stable. Thank you. Let's all take a moment here. I really appreciate what you've been doing here, and I'm really glad to have you on this side of the room. We'll have to get you down here more. Okay. With that, let's begin our short tale. This story begins far from the material plane, drifting within the tides of the astral sea. Floating high above the ancient forests of Arvondor, we see a massive metallic construct. It was created in some part by ancient alloys long forgotten and all manner of arcane magics. This 16-mile wide sphere, ancient and filled with wonders, has traversed all of the planes for countless aeons. It's home to thousands of warriors, monsters, and all sorts of strange creatures. But its travels are unyielding towards a singular goal: to entertain wealthy guests of all sort with all manner of spectacle. I'd like to welcome both my players and our guests here this evening to the Battlesphere, a multiplanar vessel capable of traveling to all of the places in this cosmos and the next. Under the guidance of its owner, Fortissimum the Coinbearer, better known to his friends as Fortie, a never-ending series of daring adventures, death-defying duels, and a whole host of gladiatorial combats have taken place here over the millennia. This evening, our battles are going to be taking place on level 21 of the Battlesphere, one of many arenas and surrounding ecosystems that will encourage different forms of combat that are host its own particular flavor of patrons who spend their coin to see all sorts of people do a violence against each other, as some of our more lower-end characters may refer to it. Should our stars tonight find victory, they're going to receive one of the greatest rewards possible: a favor, or even perhaps a gift from Fortie's vault. Go ahead and bring this out. We're back in it, everyone. I think we should start by meeting our heroes. Several of you are currently in the process of ruining the favorite bar of level 21, the Last Well and Testament. While the bar is often, it's a buzz with chatter, people speculating and placing early bids on, or bets on future fights that'll take place in the arena on this level of the Battlesphere. Tonight, the chaos is a little bit higher than normal. The bar itself, situated just outside the arena, a small walkway separating it from the location where people are checking tickets and taking bets for the upcoming bouts. The bar itself is this metal construct built into level 21, with additional passageways leading to upper and lower levels. This brushed metallic surface on the outside is obscured only by these patches of purple, almost moss-like growths that have spread throughout not just the bar, but at least during your travels here in the Battlesphere, throughout this area. The only places that some of you would have seen that lack this signature plant growth would be far to the west inside the Battlesphere, where some of the levels have actually been, for an untold amount of time, burning and melting, as if an internal hellfire has decided to curse those regions. But for now, why don't we go ahead and pass through the massive stone archway, go right by the series of glass tubes that spell out its name, filled with small fairy spirits that bounce along, giving it a sort of neon glow to it, and take a look at who's inside. I think we're going to start at the far end of the table with Theodore Von Grisley. Now, Theodore, you're sitting on this you've pulled up this massive barrel. It's long since been emptied, possibly by one of your companions. But as you're sort of sitting here, whereas normally patrons are confined to their own booths, speaking to each other about those fights, tonight, a good 15 people have queued up in a relatively orderly fashion. Each of them hold various drinks. A couple of them have, a couple of them that have stacked up of these large tankards of ale still foaming and dripping to the ground, adding to the overall dirty smell of this place that gives just a hint that partying's been going on here for a long time. Theodore, why don't you describe to me what's happening when we come to see you? What is going on with this queue of people who've lined up before you?
Well, it's sort of like a kissing booth, except they're punching me in the face one at a time for a drink.
So the person who's close to the front, this large, there's this deep mahogany color fur on this Minotaur who stands before you, one of his horns filed almost all the way down to his skull, looks down to you and kind of spittles as he talks. You sure you can take it, human?
Well, you're gonna have to get me a new drink because you just spit into that one.
Ooh. Fine. A double if you're still conscious after this.
I'm gonna go ahead and ask you to make me a Constitution saving throw. As you, those of you who are still present in the bar, watch this massive Minotaur reels back, takes a big meaty paw, and slams you in the face.
That's 22.
22. You're going to take 6 points of damage. And as you do, you're just kind of able to look at him. There's a bit of a stunned face on this Minotaur, and you hear some muted gasps from people who are further back in the line, kind of thinking that may have missed their chance, but hey, maybe they've loosened it a bit for themselves. Maybe they'll be the ones to actually take you down. And hey, if you get knocked out, who knows where your coin purse will end up at the end.
I don't have any money, that's why I'm being punched in the face for drinks.
That's fair. I don't know if they are aware of quite how impoverished you are. Now, you, as well as the rest of our heroes, you've been here for a while. The 5 of you have been fighting in the Battlesphere for a few months. You've made some coin, but finally, you're going to get a chance for the big leagues here. I do want to ask before we move on and kind of continue perusing the last well, can you tell us a little bit about what you look like?
Yeah, I think that if they had taken a look at me, they would know that I probably didn't have any money on me because they can see into all of my pockets, which I have none of, as most of my garment is kind of stapled together of different trophies and I don't know, horns from creatures I've hunted, and I'm wearing a gigantic bear pelt. Like, this is a bear pelt that is too large for your standard bear.
It's folded over in the back a little bit so that it doesn't just drag on the ground.
Yep.
Yeah, so this mountain of a man, human, patches of hair somewhat on the top, but mostly just the beard, if I recall. Big leather pauldrons and scrap hide leather just dangling around. One particularly large horn stabbed through the small leather plate you have dangling on your chest. It doesn't look bestial in nature. It's possible that you obtained it from some sort of humanoid creature, maybe a tiefling at some point, but just scores of violence, huh?
Maybe a minotaur.
Maybe possibly a minotaur if you really want to give squint at him. But you really give off this sort of menacing appearance as we're here. Let's move on to one of our other players. I want to ask for Clella and for Jake to just do me a quick roll off. I didn't know which way I want to introduce you, so let's let the dice decide.
Not great. It's 10.
Not great. It's an 8.
Okay. With that, we're gonna push past the front side of the bar, kind of curve around to one of the side entrances. This one is this entrance would normally lead to one of the staircases leading down these kind of bronze polished stairs that would lead to level 20, which is going to be quite a ways walk because of how the sheer size of the Battlesphere. But just outside of the archway to the last well, we see a quartet, an unlikely quartet of individuals. First, this very disheveled, upset wood elven man, coin purse tucked up at his neck, kind of clutching it very tightly. He's got this, what used to be, you can see some dyed blue hair that has been kind of matted as sweat and the muck of the Battlesphere have kind of caked on. But you can see the remnants of what used to be very fine clothes as he pushes his coins close. The trio there, of course, is going to be this pair of massive gnolls, haunched over, rippling muscles, each of them holding these thick leathered clubs, and kind of looking over to the small fire genasi woman who stands nearby. Small relative, of course, to the 8-foot-tall gnolls. I don't mean to say. Chloe got very defensive instantly. I don't play small characters. What are you talking about?
All my characters are average height.
But as this wood elf is sputtering and kind of, please, I've only got so much. Why don't you describe what you look like, and what you're doing here, Clella?
Yeah, so this is a relatively willowy fire genasi, dressed in like all black, very, very warlock vibes. They have you can see in the like back of their waistband, there's like a book tucked in.
Mm-hmm.
But besides that, they don't really carry any like kind of signs of magic on them.
Sure.
They also have a gold coin, like kind of just flipping casually. And I would demonstrate, but I can't. So
absolutely, the players don't require the manual dexterity to do cool coin stuff. But as you're kind of sitting there, you're twirling this gold coin. One of your two gnoll goons here, Ed, kind of turns down and looks to you.
Should we hit him again, boss?
we can be reasonable. And turning to the wood elf, I just think it's really fun that you thought that slipping off plane would remove you from the eyes of the exchange when that's just frankly not possible. Anywhere you go, any plane, any dimension, any continent, the exchange will be there. So you can hand over your coin now and in this hunt, or, well, we'll come and collect when you're ashes.
Make an intimidation check with advantage, as you've got these two big gnolls kind of just really leaning in deep as you're doing this shakedown out here.
An 18.
An 18. You see this elven man. I just there was a mistake. I
I'm not
misunderstood.
interested in context.
Of course. Won't happen again. As he reaches over, you see he has to unhook the small silver chain that had attached his coin purse to him and kind of places the pouch into your palm.
You have 5 seconds to scurry before I decide to be a little less merciful.
Quite. You watch as this elf turns and just kind of begins to book it. He kind of slips a little bit as he hits those steps and begins descending down to lower levels of the Battlesphere. Quite a bit less jingly than he might have been before as you pocket the bit of coin here. Bonsai and Ed turn to you.
Is there anything else we need to do?
I'll actually hand it over to them and say, you know who to take this to? And if it doesn't get there, well.
They one of them kind of just gasps this strange, heckly. It's a weird. Gnolls they're massive hyena-kin essentially, and fear clearly put in there. The hair on their neck standing up quite high. They nod to you and begin heading off to the shifters. You know there's a series of teleportation circles here within the Battlesphere. You've seen that Archibald, of course, often has been seen throwing out his winnings through those teleporters. Where they're going, maybe you know, maybe you don't. That's of course up to Jake. But speaking of Archie, let's go back in as Chloe, as Fist goes and maybe heads back to the bar, grabs a drink before the fight. Archibald. Archie. Archeesy.
DM easy.
You stand here before the bar. The long line past you would have been much longer had you not taken one of the two main barkeeps' attention for so long. As you stand here bickering with Liari, this very strange, long-limbed creature, looking at you. We told you before, as you were cut off within the last 3 hours.
What?
As I was saying, Archie, you can. As you swallow whatever that is.
I was scared.
You're welcome, podcast listeners.
Yeah. The worst ASMR.
Here's your ASMR.
Hey, our
That's
first
right.
ASMR experience.
So, Liari looks at you and just takes a moment to breathe. Liari, this very thin creature, probably about a foot in width, despite standing roughly the height of an adult human male. Kind of this pale green skin, kind of looks at you. As I had mentioned a few hours ago, you were cut off. Just because we are past the morning does not mean that has reset. I wish for you to go and have a full night's rest, and then you can continue being my biggest patron.
You said something a few hours ago?
Yes, it has been just shy of 3 hours since I last cut you off.
I'm too sober for that then. Can I have another?
Sir. The bickering kind of goes on for a bit. If you actually don't want to persuade him, I am going to need a persuasion check here, as you have caused so much ruckus. The patchwork, there's this shard-like destruction near the top of the building, on the roof of the building, where you can see the remnants with a little bit of rust around the metal edges, where that saltwater blast fired through the top of the last well and testament. It's been partially repaid, as you've been blowing through those winnings, but I'm afraid Liari hasn't fully forgotten how much you've damaged his bar in the months you've been here.
That's kind of fair. So, I'm gonna go ahead and roll a persuasion check.
Please do.
But instead of asking for alcohol, I'm gonna see if I can't persuade him to do something else. There's a fire, but right behind you.
Make a deception check.
I don't think he's gonna believe it, but
Very high. He's not an absolute idiot.
you said deception?
Uh-huh.
What does a 28 get me?
A 28. So it's not necessarily that he believes you, but hearing what's going on there, the fact that you have, you drop all of the bravado for a second, but also the slurring stops. You take just the right quiet but deep breath, and as you speak more normally, Liari kind of gets. Maybe Archie, maybe you exaggerate a bit to put people at ease.
Yeah.
Maybe hide how much of a threat you are.
Yeah.
And hey, who knows? Maybe you won't have another bounty hunter come here and try to take you down. So with that, Liari says, "Oh, a fire? That would be terrible. I do hope no one takes any of my Flexian ale."
I'm trying to leave my satchel of gold. I accidentally leave my satchel of platinum as I grab the alcohol and run.
Oh my gosh, you leave an absurd sum, grab some of the booze behind the bar,
Exact same color patch.
and begin heading off. All right. It is at this point that Halestis, the bouncer of this bar, this big gray-skinned orc, leather jacket, leather armor rather, that comes up to a furred neckline, kind of pokes his head in.
Everyone, wax in. She's coming.
Some of the patrons begin taking small bits of wax and stuffing them into their ears, as if preparing them themselves for it. The players, you've been here for a while. I'm curious if any of them conform to that. This will not affect you, Jorson. Archie?
I probably ran into the door on the way out. If I'm still conscious, I'll do it.
Okay. Archie, lying fully, after hitting his head on the door on the way out, laying on the ground, fully on his back, takes a little bit of this, not quite candle wax, it's a little bit thicker than that, and pushes just a little bit of wax into his ears. As we start hearing a sound emanating from just outside the well as someone approaches.
Ting, 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 ting.
still has it.
This cacophony of atonal notes. It's a very multimodal sound as this tabaxi woman with this heavily damaged harp. If it would normally have 30 strings, it's got 13. And somehow none of them are tuned to the same frequencies whatsoever. It's very out of tune as you begin kind of strutting through this happy cat. Why don't you describe a little bit about what you look like?
So, if I were to look a little bit more like a cat, you could say that I looked like an American short hair tabby cat, like a domestic short hair. But I'm standing here on 2 legs, I'm bipedal, and I am holding a harp and wearing multiple layers of robes. So, not just what you'd expect somebody to be wearing as clothes, but like add a couple extra layers, like really bulk out the shoulders in 3 different kinds of different green gowns and robes. I've got a little collar around my neck with a little bell on it. And I am trying
Empty scabbard.
And an empty scabbard as I hop from dry patch to dry patch while playing the new song that I wrote, actually.
And you see as you're kind of skipping around, as the people here, they're not reacting like they used to. They were very rude last time.
Oh, it was horrible.
But as you're kind of strutting through, as you hit certain notes in your song, as it were, the purple patches of this moss, still littered even through the inside of the last well, flash with a bit of like, just a little bit of this greenish light. They illuminate briefly, rippling along with your music. Dreadful as it is to those of you with any sort of musical education or taste.
This song is called "The Winds on the Plains Are Mighty Fine Today."
Doink, tink, tink.
Dewey,
That's too long for a song.
you could
At this
buy
point-
so many harps with the amount of money we've won.
Money?
Across the room, you. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
How do
I
you
was
think
gonna-
I've been buying the alcohol?
Archie said my money would go to him for a really great investment, and so I've been letting him invest it because he said I'll get dividends.
Goes
Hearing
the
that-
Battlesphere, boss says.
Hearing that, Helestus, the bouncer, just turns and leans over Archie, a grim look at you. This angry, stoned-faced orc.
I start singing along.
Ting, ting, ting. This was unkind.
Her playing? That's rather rude. Are you going to apologize to her? Please, sir.
Do you want to get into the bar tonight after your fight?
Helly, he's a good man.
I am a good man. I have children to feed. No, I don't.
Speaking of, Helestus is speaking a little bit louder than you're used to, but
All right, fine.
Thank you.
Thank you as well.
he kind of twitches a little bit every time you play another note.
We're gonna give him some extra gold tonight.
was already going there. You were taking my money.
You have some coin, but so you have all the.
I have more rocks than coins in my little stone pouch. It was a coin purse. It's a stone pouch.
And,
But they're interesting rocks, right?
so as
Beautiful.
as we pass by, because I don't think Jake, I don't actually believe you describe what you look like. So let me just give a real quick
yeah, please do.
overview here. As we're gonna pass through the bar, so we see Thist is coming back in. Maybe your drink has been delivered to you. Maybe do you get your own part of your own booth?
I am trying to convince Dewey to think about purchasing a new harp and offering to front some coin.
Absolutely.
I love the nickname Dewey. Oh.
Dewey's very. It took me a second. It's very sweet. So Dewdrop and Thist kind of sitting at the bar. This tabaxi woman, light brown fur, big green cloaks. We've got this fire genasi who's sitting there, mostly obscure, definitely wanting to hide the attention, avoid too much attention. Lying still on the ground is Archibald, this light green water genasi, wearing this bright, ostentatious blue robe. For those of you who can see, I'm gonna go ahead and just hold up his miniature. It might not be visible too much as to what it is, but the absolute, I would say, poison arrow frogness of this miniature, where it's clearly saying if you were to lick this cape, you would die.
If
Yeah.
you were
Also,
to
don't lick
Archie-
miniatures.
Yeah, I was about to say. Archie probably is covered in some kind of an
sticky.
alcohol. Yeah, don't lick him either.
Yes, you're covered in remnants of dried alcohol and possibly dried vomit. You are quite gross at this point, Archie.
Can you describe the smell?
I don't believe any of the party has prestidigitated you. I don't know if
Acidic.
any of them can, actually.
Not capable.
Yeah, neon blue
Not capable
and
of getting
sticky.
close enough to try.
You're neon blue and sticky. Never trust a man who's blue and sticky.
I'm a ring pop.
As we go through, passing through the bar, we see Mr. Von Grisley once more with this. There is this tiefling, kind of this light pink with streaks of red along his arms. You can see him nursing what looks to be a couple of broken knuckles as he steps away from Theodore. Theodore, you have a nice bottle of wine that someone has just handed to you. It's not ale, it's not mead. How do you feel about that?
I'll probably bring it over and give it to Captain Fishsticks.
Captain, get some extra wine for you. And as you all kind of enjoy your time here before your fight tonight, let's go ahead and past the bar, past this small hidden door just on the southern side of the last well. Through this hidden door, we go into a smoke-filled room, satin pillows dotting all around, a thick, perfumed smoke. There's a mix here of burned tobacco, but also the scent of lavender and maybe some fruits that are hard to place, possibly not even from your homeland, Jorson. You sit here, not alone, but next to this what appears to be perhaps a dragonborn, maybe a half-dragon, a red-scaled humanoid creature with a long tail, these very dark eyes, who sits here holding a long pipe connected to a tube that attaches to this magical construct that constantly shifts and bubbles in all sorts of ways that are certainly wrong. Whatever this machine is doing, it's doing too much. But your employer, Mr. Red, is sitting here. He's been making you wait. He often does this. You enter in through that secret door and he really tries your patience.
Yeah, I'm just hanging out with Roxo, my familiar, and just kind of feeding him little scraps of food.
Okay, kind of giving a treat to this small purple hawk.
Yeah.
Yes, not a falcon, hawk. My apologies. This small hawk, your familiar, kind of immediately taking the treat out of your hand, and then going back to attention, kind of keeping an eye out. Always a little distrustful of Mr. Red. Well then, I suppose the gods of Celestia have given us a bit of fortune. Well, our window for our project is closing. Tonight will be an opportunity for us to obtain the key that I have been seeking. You and I have been companions in my business for some time now. I just need to rely on you a little bit longer. Can I trust that you will be victorious in tonight's battle?
I see no reason why you would think the opposite.
No, you haven't lost a fight since that issue in the Viridian Dern. With you here, I believe that if there is going to be a failure, it will be of those peers you have chosen in the Battlesphere. I don't trust the green one.
Yeah. I don't think anyone does. I personally couldn't trust a drunkard like that.
No, after what you previously went through, I suppose you do not approve of over-reliance on such a substance. Have you been sleeping better?
No. I'd say my past still haunts me.
A shame. Well, I believe with tonight's bout that there will be only 2 last bits of payment, and we can be done with our business unless you decide you'd prefer to continue such a lucrative endeavor. I do require those last few vials of celestial blood, and of course, the key. You will ask Fortie of this, and he will certainly provide.
Yeah. Once I have gotten my use out of the key, I'll definitely be giving it to you.
Certainly. I will be providing you the coordinates once you have it in hand, just to ensure mutual honesty. I have a bit of information, as I know you're always so testy about knowing what you'll be fighting. Unfortunately, these folks are less familiar to me than those gallivanting giants from a few weeks ago. But I can give you the basics of their nature. They are a group of orcs, a warband from the material. And together they've made quite a name for themselves, rising up to become the champions of this level in less than a year's time. And you, Jorson, you've been in the Battlesphere for a couple months here. You've heard, you know something, a relative amount about other folks of how successes work. Most of the time when you hear about floor champions, you've heard of dragons. You've seen fallen angels who've come here. You've seen wizards and their constructs they've brought. But for just orcs to be here is a bit strange. As a kindness, I will simply tell you that of their number, a few of them are just brutes. They're ugly, harsh, and ready to indulge in their blood fury that the Paxi have so long forsaken. I would be wary of the seer and the hunter, however. Well then, I have business with one of our former acquaintances, so if there is nothing else, I must ask you to leave.
Very well. Come on, Roxo.
I thought I was having a moment with Quella about a word that was used, and instead,
Oh,
I can't read Victoria's mind.
I'm trying to think really loudly.
Do you need index cards? Because we can have index cards.
Yes.
I'll take an index card.
I'll take half an index card so I can throw
They're
it.
massive now?
I will continue working on my psychic abilities, but an
Victoria?
index card will work
We
in the
just
meantime.
all need to improve our ASL skills.
You're not on the same wavelength as sir. Thank you for the money, by the way.
Connor and I can read each other's minds, right? A green spike forms.
That lack of
You
Alright.
wouldn't have to ask that question if you could.
I
Pass it
actually
down to
heard
Quella.
the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme song just now, but
You only get one of those because they're massive.
keep saving it.
Great. All right. With that, so just as a bit of a recap, things your players would know, you're all spending your time here at the Last Well. You have a few hours in preparation before the next big fight. Honestly, calling it next makes it seem like the previous fights you've done in any way relate to what you've got going on here. This is the big leagues. You're fighting floor champions. These folks, if you take this fight, you got huge rewards. You can ask the patron of the Battlesphere for a favor, or even go into his vault and pick something special out. And if you decide to stay here, this is a cushy gig. Thousands of platinum are just past your fingertips right now. So is there anything you'd all like to do, or anything any sort of interactions you need to have here before we head off to the arena?
I would like to inspire my team with a song that I wrote for them in the eve of our greatest battle yet.
Good, I needed to throw up to serve.
I will slam my head against the table and knock myself unconscious.
I want to do it inside the lamp just for some extra.
Well, everybody has to hear it. Or
The
else it won't
bar
work.
is strangely loud. Everyone is almost yelling to communicate.
Okay.
Tell you what, why don't you write it down for me and I'll read it later.
But it
Play
has
it.
words.
Play it. Go
Yeah,
for
write
it.
the words down.
Write the words down.
And the song that goes with it.
I know how to
How will
read
you
music.
perform it as a victory?
Okay,
Song.
but can I tell you the name of the song so you all know how much I care about you?
Yes.
My friends are my victory, and my victory are my friends, and I love them so much. Thank you.
Never mind, I don't want to hear it anymore.
You're very sweet.
Can I perform it for you guys?
I say we let her perform it. We can do it inside the lamp, where everyone can hear you.
I like the lamp because it's warm and comfy.
Do you have any more of that wax?
Yeah, always.
Take out this. It's not quite a candle. It's a little different. It's designed for this. You take it a little bit, crack some off, and some member of the party are either unconscious or currently considered deafened.
I don't know what they're doing.
Absolutely. Now we
I'll
all see.
dismiss
I don't
Roxo for this,
the
so
wax.
he doesn't have to suffer through it.
Excellent. So Thist, you pull out this artifact. It's made of crimson metal gilded with gold. It's an oil lamp. We've seen a lamp before. It's very genie.
Yes.
And why don't you describe to me how you activate this ability?
Well, first I do my customary turning around and giving a certain look at several people who look very hungry at the idea of the lamp, and know that someone else will tell them what happened to the last guy that touched it.
Oh, yeah.
And
They never did figure out how to get him out of that space.
Yeah, no, just there wasn't much to get out, honestly. Then I place it down and I sort of just run my fingers along it from like the spout to like the very handle.
It's also a cat.
Tip to butt.
Yeah, like a cat. And
You're the other way that Genie gets mad.
No.
she doesn't like it the other way. It just like instantly you just start seeing smoke come out, and then I just touch it again.
Excellent. You perform this minor ritual. Tufts of orange smoke begin spewing out from the spout of this lamp. As you place your hand on it once more or touch the smoke, you suddenly, in a flash, your body, from those who are outside, appears to turn into a fist shape bit of smoke, which then quickly dissipates. And you are inside. As we watch some of the other party members begin to do so, Theo, are you staying outside and unconscious?
Yeah, I'm unconscious.
Fully just...
all the people who punched me are like, how did you do that?
Truly, it's a feat of relatively Herculean strength.
Voluntary unconsciousness to avoid my beautiful music.
Do you have to pay for a new table that you broke?
Why would I pay for the
You
table?
broke the table with your head.
I didn't break the table. It was a stone
Yeah,
table.
it is a stone table instead of a metal bar.
Not
But
that
as we're going to kind of jump ahead just ever so slightly. 4 of you are now inside the lamp. The lamp itself has this magical extra-dimensional space. There are comfortable seats, lots of tapestries hanging down, lots of purples, deep maroon and reds. And in the center is this ever-burning flame, which you know is not a normal fire. Thist, you're aware this is an essence, a fragment of the very creature who imbued you with your powers, and whose lamp you currently reside within. You're just a small piece of something larger.
I dump my customary gold in.
You drop some gold into there as this sound, which you can just barely hear through the wax, begins playing. Which is maybe, Victoria, can I ask for dewdrops on grass to make me a performance check with disadvantage?
Can I sing
You have a
along
damage
and give her
instrument.
help?
Yes, if you'd like to try to sing along that Victoria, he gave you the help action. I need you to actually
You're gonna
roll
guess
one
the
die.
words of the new
No.
song.
Oh no, but I
So-
want to keep.
Do you want to keep? You want to refuse the help?
My low is just so high.
It's a good roll no matter
Okay,
what.
so Archie starts to sing along, and you hush him.
It's this ain't the song.
Ting, ting, ting. It's a 17.
It actually has a melody.
It's for you.
And guys, those of you with any familiarity with stringed or wind, most brass instruments, you'd be aware. Guys, it's the heat. These instruments, they stretch. They also shrink ever so slightly. It's not visible what happens, but the tension, the wire, something about this place. Boom, 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 boom. Just it gets a little bit softer, and it's pleasant. And as it does, the sounds begin emanating out of the lamp. You, Theodore, kind of drifting whatever dream you're in, rather than having a, let's call it Doom-esque soundtrack, it's a little bit more pleasant than it normally might be.
Can I let them peek into the dice tray? I rolled a 19 and a 16.
Wow.
You would have had a math 20.
I would have had a math 20, but I was like, I can't. I don't want to re-roll because there's no way I can get that again.
That's so good.
If a cat was familiar with any instrument, it would be a stringed instrument.
Yeah.
Amazing.
But
Love it.
taking this time, getting to rest a little bit. Now, I do have to ask, does anyone receive any benefits for their time here within the lamp?
If they roll any hit die, they receive my proficiency bonus in addition. to
Okay. So if those of
I
you who are...
misremembered.
You're injured.
But he's outside.
Oh, he's not in the lamp.
You made a choice.
However, you do have a little bit of time here. Here's my offer to you, Alex. You've taken just a small amount of damage. You guys have around an hour before this fight. If any of you have any tasks you need to get completed beforehand, there won't be time for a short rest. But if you guys don't have anything particular, any research or shakedowns or whatever it is, those of you might do. If you guys want to catch a fight before going, go watch a fight before heading off.
Would I know what a seer is?
Give me, so you know very well how Mr. Red speaks. You know that Mr. Red is not truly as he appears, but is instead a creature known as a Red Abishai, a form of devil, and a particularly powerful Abishai at that. So you know that he does not lie typically, but he will speak in ways that require one to think quite a bit. And so thinking about that, go ahead and you're going to give me a Arcana check. This is because you're thinking about the context of this. I'm going to ask you to do this with advantage. You've got years of familiarity with Mr. Red at this point.
Advantage, I got a 16.
16?
16.
Thinking about this, and I'm going to kind of combine this passively with a bit about how your character, your time you spent here. Think about with a 16, you kind of start narrowing it down. A seer, possibly someone interested in divination, possibly someone interested in, who's got the certain capabilities magically. But then taking the context that it's an orcish warband, you start thinking about your homeland, the Settled Dominion, and with your knowledge of magic, orcish seers were absolutely a common thing there. They're a form of witch, which often have access to certain types of magic. Most commonly, there's divination magic, but unlike a normal divination wizard, which would focus on just seeing the future, they often will instead learn normal combat spells, and before the fights, peer into the future to see how those abilities will work and use that knowledge to their advantage. So you know the seer is probably some powerful spellcaster. Maybe someone more on your level in terms of magic than what you've faced here in the Battlesphere before, which has mostly been big old meatheads.
Okay.
Okay, so with that, I think
Take
we're
down
gonna.
the seer first.
Yeah. You know, I will say I'm looking over, I'm seeing Jorson Ponder. Gotta ask. Haven't you told us about that girlfriend of yours yet? You always walk out of that room smelling like perfume.
Those shit.
A gentleman never tells.
Your girlfriend lives in the back room of the bar.
He is a gentleman. Darn it.
I can't do anything else. Okay, you guys, maybe the party begins kind of needling. Some of the party begins needling Jorson to learn more about this secret affair.
If I get any more questions, I pretend like I can't hear because I have wax in my ears.
As you begin stonewalling them, I think we're gonna cut away real quick, and when we come back, we're gonna set up our battle map here and jump into tonight's fight. All right, having finished up over at the Last Well and Testament, you all now have headed out. You've passed the lodgings that the various warriors and champions are using on this level. There's more than one, I should say, where you all are staying. This sort of integrated apartment building where it's built into one of the arced side walls. You know that you're relatively far out. You're touching one of the far out pieces of the Battlesphere. And as it rises up, the circular doors, some of them left ajar, emanating the orange magical lights that are inside. You can see various hardened warriors passing by on the different walkways leading to these different apartments. Rounding about, you eventually descend down to the level for the waiting room. This waiting area is where you've been countless times at this point over the past few months, and is where you'll all be meeting a familiar face. Before we talk about who's entering this room with you guys, let me just quickly describe what this waiting room looks like. Similar to before, it is a lot of metallic surfaces, only here you're in a little bit of a nicer place. Not as nice as where the patrons and the high rollers are, but there are wooden embellishments. These sort of locker-like cubby areas. Here, actually, some of them have soft linings. The benches here are a little bit, some of them have little grooves built right into them to hold your tuchus. Places to sit. There's a little bit more comfort, amenities that are in here. You're all coming in here, some of you grabbing your weapons, polishing armor, whatever your pre-combat rituals are. When you hear the sound of hooves, yeah, do you hear that? No, please, that's great. When you hear the sound of hooves on metal and stone, as a familiar face the centaur Amaryllis begins entering. From the waist down, this massive dark-haired horse, but from the waist up you see wearing a bright red vest and a huge smile that he almost never is lacking. His hair itself, this gradient of like a light blonde all the way over to this very false red. It looks like either he's dyed or used some sort of magic to change the way that his actual hair looks. But here Amaryllis trots into the room. Well, if it isn't some of our favorite rising stars. So I hear tonight you're going to be facing off against some of the champions. How are you feeling?
Is that the royal we or our?
Oh, there's no royalty here, honey. Only money.
Isn't money the most royal thing ever, though?
I suppose in the Battlesphere, it is king.
And I think we're gonna get crowned tonight.
That's wrong. Actually, I am king.
Are you a king?
You know, I never feel like I have a bead on you there, Teddy. Do you think tonight you can go without ripping anyone's limbs off?
I can't make that promise.
You never can, and that's why we appreciate you. The audience has a lot of money riding on you. Some of you have very high odds of surviving tonight if the betting lanes are to be believed.
I'm just laying across. You know how you described the ones that kind of dip down. I'm
Absolutely.
laying across those.
Oh, paws fully dangling off.
Arms fully dangling off.
You do not sit right.
Of the ones that are like dipped down for maximum comfort for sitting.
How liquid is your PC sometimes? Like a cat is a liquid. We all know this.
I am a plasma.
Oh my gosh. I don't even know what that means in this context. It's crazy.
I'm definitely liquid at
You just
times.
can't be contained.
I cannot be contained.
Someone locked you inside of a fully sealed metal cube and you walked out and no one understands exactly what you did.
I can't
Schrodinger's
pick locks.
backseat? No, that's not right.
I'm not saying you have freedom of movement on you, but it feels like it.
Is your tail whipping in the way that if you went up and pet that cat, he would just bite you immediately?
I would bite.
Amaryllis kind of takes a look over. Ah, Miss Grass, it is nice to see you again. I hope we get to see a little bit more of that killer cat we saw in the past.
Amy, I don't know if I'm feeling it right now.
Oh, don't be silly. The brand's right there. You ignite that and the crowd goes wild. And you know when the crowd goes wild, the house is happy.
I'm feeling it.
Oh, you see, that's why I like you. When you're laying around, you're not feeling the urge to entertain anyone with any musical numbers, and instead just relaxing in your own feline way.
Do you want to hear my new song?
Oh, I desperately do not.
Okay.
It's okay.
All
It's
right.
okay, Amy.
Now, Archie and Teddy, I know the two of you have had some differences in the past about leadership roles, and I do need to know, for purposes of tonight, who will be playing as the field commander?
Seeing as Teddy will die later, it will be me.
Ah,
Did your bones say that?
normally I expect
My
the
bones?
barbs.
It's actually a rock.
He throws a rock.
I thought they were
It's
bones.
the ancestral rock.
I thought
Oh, yes, you mean that large hunk you've been carrying around. It looks awful heavy. So you all see that Theodore pulls this massive stone. Most of the outside looks just like this very boring, scratched up brown rock. A sliver has been shattered out of its mostly spherical shape, revealing glittering, cascading light as there is a reflective surface inside. If you've seen a pristine cut gem up close, one of those magnified sapphire or a ruby, this is very much like a bright green polished gem. It's a little more opaque than something like those gems I referenced there, but it's definitely got that refractive, glittering effect, despite not actually giving off its own light. It's just reflecting the light from the outside. Did you feel like utilizing its magical properties here?
No.
Okay.
But can I? You know the future.
Yes.
Yes, I do.
I always find it disconcerting when you say such things so casually.
Does Roxas find true love?
Can you be more specific? Are you looking for true love?
No,
The bird?
does Roxas find true love?
Rocks.
His bird.
Oh.
Oh, does his bird find true love?
Yeah. You can tell the future. Tell me if he finds true love.
Rocks.
Okay, I'll throw my rock at the ground and cast augury, asking
Oh
the
my
ancestors
God.
if his bird finds true love.
I'm gonna ask you to make me a strength check with
Roxas and
advantage. What was that, Connor?
Roxo's a magical construct. He has no desires.
But he exists.
Why would you tell her that?
You said a strength saving throw?
A strength check. So just add your strength modifier.
It's only a 14.
A 14. You take your rock, lifting it high above the head, throwing it to the ground, ready to see whatever fragments of rock and maybe some of the actual material comes off. And here, you don't get any major splits as it strikes the ground, but it does it cracks some of the stone in this particular portion of the waiting area, which as it spreads out, there's a brief message here. It almost appears to be some sort of large, like when you're looking at this, the outline of dust appears to be this large creature, multiple, it's got, looks like 4, maybe 6. Wait, no. There are 7 limb-like protrusions coming from this creature. And you get the sense of good things to come.
Outcome unsure.
Roxas has loved and lost, and he has lived a very full life. He has loved many times, and he may love again, but it is unlikely.
You got that from throwing a rock?
I'm just gonna weep into my arm. It's okay.
Oh my god.
Do we get to fight?
What? Yeah, absolutely. Well, all right then. Looks like you have everything you need. Are you ready for tonight's battle?
Before we jump into battle, I'm just going to say, focus the spellcaster. They have one. I know they're a group of orcs, but they have a spellcaster.
Ah, you've been doing a bit of research beforehand. Well, these Davrielian orcs will not be so easy to take down.
Do we have time to cast a spell before we go in?
Of course, I'm gonna go get set up on my platform so I can be the announcer for tonight's battle. Best of luck, and if you win, congratulations. But if you lose, well, either way, the house wins. Ta-ta for now.
It doesn't seem to have the most face.
Amy?
Oh, yes, Miss Grass.
When we hurt people, is it permanent or temporary?
Oh,
Temporary.
The end
Temporary.
Oh, I'm afraid that in the championship bout, the protective shielding that you're used to is not going to be available, as it is that people defending the titles.
Honey, do you remember when we talked about the magic of love?
However, you are not obligated to actually slay any of your opponents.
Okay.
I do encourage any conjured or construct type creatures. I would recommend fully destroying them, as they are like to reanimate.
Okay.
But the protective field is not active.
Okay. So permanent hurt, potentially.
I feel like I'm gonna get stuck in this voice one day. Like that's just gonna be me.
It's fine. Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. I'm gonna go get myself a glass of water.
That's just me to begin with. All right. With that, let's head to the arena. Now, as the challengers, you are going to be going ahead and you're going to be setting up your miniatures first. You're going to be, which is to say, in universe, you're actually going to go ahead as you all begin heading up the steps out of the waiting room. Towards the arena. The arena itself is about an 80-foot wide stone tablet that you know is going to actually lift in the air, advancing higher and higher, passing by the different viewers so that they're able to see some of the battle in real space, whereas for the rest of the fight, they'll be seeing various projected minor and major illusions replicating your fight, both here and throughout the Battlesphere for those patrons who've paid for such a service.
So can we go ahead and cast their preparation spells?
Yes, you have your preparation spells, and you're gonna be able to prepare yourself by placing yourself anywhere on the starting map.
Okay. I'm going to cast False Life, 4th level.
I'm gonna cast Armor of Agathis.
All right.
5th level.
So, Armor of Agathis, a collection of flames ripple over your body and then cool and become very thin, a thin sheen, almost giving you a shimmering, reflective surface on your robes.
I'm very upset at finding out that the protective shielding won't be there anymore, and so I just violently shake my head really quickly, which makes the bell on my neck ding 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 ting just enough to accidentally cast a spell blink.
And this is just the start. This is just the start of the combat.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't want to do this.
Okay, make sure you have the spell text for Blink up, because you're going to absolutely need it. For frame of reference, for where you'd be starting, know know that your opponents will all be arriving at the same time and will be arriving from the northernmost point or the easternmost point of this. So they're going to all be arriving right here or right here.
I'm gonna go ahead with Shadow Touch.
Right here.
Turn myself invisible as well.
Yes, go ahead, and you're going to be invisible. Make sure that you remember that you're concentrating on that spell.
I
Now, Barbarian, you have any pre-combat casting you'd like to do? Besides augury? Consulting your spell book?
I have the most movement, so I moved you in the center. So I can-
Okay.
Reminder, you can be anywhere on the starting map. Are you happy with where you
Oh,
are?
anywhere?
Yes, anywhere
Can you
on
move
here.
me towards the middle too?
Oh my goodness.
You okay
Tripped
there?
and a fail.
Do you want to be in
Carter.
the middle?
Yes.
Close enough to you, perfect.
Cool. I'll get you right.
And can you remind us and for the
Please.
people listening how approximately wide this is?
Yes, so it's around 80 feet wide.
I just counted.
And so, as a reminder, they'll be coming from the east and the north. They're not going to be coming, the east and the north. They're not coming from the south point, which is currently where Thist is. Thist over there, getting a little bit further away, as well as Jorson, kind of keeping a little bit of distance between themselves and where the enemies are going to show up.
Casters in the back.
And with that, the arena begins to rise. From your loading station before, you now emerge into the main chambers of level 21. This multiple hundreds of foot tall gladiatorial arena at this point. The arena itself, where the combat takes place, is small, but you see various floating platforms, strange creatures, various humanoids, a blue dragon swirling its drink, crackling lightning within. All of these creatures who have come here to watch a championship bout. You've been fighting at this for months. And so I'm going to ask, as we begin ascending, going up to the higher level, knowing what's coming up, I'm going to ask you all to roll for initiative. You know, in just a couple of moments here, you all are going to get high enough for the other entrance platform from one of the other weight rooms to allow the others to leap aboard the arena itself as you begin floating and rising up through this chamber. Let's go ahead and start around here. Dewdrops on grass.
8.
8 for dewdrops. Where to go next is going to be Archie.
Clicking my heels together, I got a 26.
A 26, pretty low roll for you.
Sadly,
No
you have a
place
plus
like home.
14, I make it like.
All right, moving down the line to our barbarian Theo. What you got for me?
14.
14, not bad. All right, and Fist.
11.
Okay. 11 for Fist, and finally we have Jorson.
7.
Hey! Single digit buddies.
That's harsh. That's a hard one, buddy.
Yeah. It's all right.
You'll
Being a
mop up whatever's
spellcaster is good
left.
going first and last.
I bounced from a 19 to a 3.
Oh, it was so sad.
Probably the
It was
enemies cluster.
Mine landed. It didn't even roll. It was just like 3.
All right, as you begin rising up, kind of going along with that, I wanted to get my last second spell casting. This whole first moment here as you're getting into position. As you're that beep sounds.
40 speaks.
Huh?
40 speaks.
40 speaks. No, so the arena begins rotating ever so slightly as you all begin ascending. In just the next couple of moments, you see on this first round, the first place that could potentially enter, you make your first sight of your opponents for this evening. Strangely, you know that you're fighting 6 individuals tonight, but only 5 make their appearance for right now.
How many are boilers?
Oh. All right. So, coming from the north end, you see a pair of these large, incredibly muscular orcish men. One wearing bronze armor, covering his head. The other, he's got this broken up bits of splint. It looks kind of damaged. But for both of them, they have these beautiful war glaives, these large weapons that kind of arc over both the front and the back end of their arms. They're very much curved weapons. They could run by and almost swing at you like a haymaker and slice you through. Continuing on with this trend, we have the rest of them who are appearing on this round are going to be on the far end. Showing up on the east, you see a trio of individuals emerging. One of them, this orcish woman holding a long bow, long black hair, massive tusks that look. One of them is capped with a small bit of gold gilding. Another, this a little more refined, looks to be actually possibly a half orc, steps up, blade in hand, which just begins crackling with lightning around it. Looks to be some sort of magus. And finally, this last orc, not wearing armor, but instead a very simple set of hides. Her normally green skin is coated with what looks to be possibly gray war paint, or maybe ash, with these white streaks going through it. Her jaw dislodged ever so slightly, like an old wound that didn't heal quite right, a break somewhere. And she steps forward, one of her hands bent and distorted ever so slightly, a little bit too big, even for her admittedly large frame. And with that, let's begin round 1. Archie, you won the initiative. You know there's supposed to be 6 enemies, but only 5 are here so far. So there's something else coming. What would you like to do? You're here in the center of the arena. 3 enemies to the east, 2 enemies to the north. It's your move.
Out of sight, out of mind. I don't think that the 6th person's probably that big of a deal. So,
You're literally invisible.
oh,
You are invisible, so effectively, because that first turn, you are hidden at the moment, but do know attack rolls and spells will reveal you.
well, Archie has a bit of a motto that someone else said tonight. Kill the spellcaster first. So I'm gonna move just a tiny bit on the other side of our barbarian friend to the southern end. Yes, perfect. And I'm gonna take 2 quick shots at what I'm assuming is the magical lady.
Okay, so as you move up, drawing your gun, make those 2 attack rolls for me. You hear voice projected through magical. Excuse me. Voice projected through magical means. You all hear. These 5 have dazzled and delighted us these past couple of months. With 24 wins under their belt, they are ready to face off against the reigning champs. As kind of going through here, no one's expecting this fight to begin over quick, so you hear Amy speaking, yelling out further. You got me saying Amy. Amaryllis speaking. Do they have what it takes to claim the title and Fortie's favor? Or will their entrails be spilt upon the arena floor? With that, as you emerge, not even allowing introduction for these orcs, what are your attack rolls, buddy?
I got a 24 and a 16.
24 and a 16. Unfortunately, one of those is going to be a hit. So the first one absolutely hits. You see this is firing with your pistol, pulling out this flintlock, this double-barreled weapon. You take the first shot, it strikes her in the shoulder. The second one, as it's coming closer to her, you watch as it looks like it shatters into like dust as it almost hits her. Some sort of magical barrier seems to be protecting her somewhat. But that's gonna be one hit. Now you are a swashbuckler, and she does not have any allies within 5 feet of her.
It is also, I think...
You also had advantage in this roll, so you're good to go.
So, I had advantage on the first one?
Because you were hidden.
Do I need to make one more roll then? I'm shooting twice.
Yes.
There we go. Well, this is the first one. I am going to sneak it.
Sure. Yeah, that sound is what happens when you have have rogue levels.
21.
21 points of damage. All of that is piercing?
It is all piercing.
All right. As she's struck by this wound, the magic from your gun takes place, and you watch as where the wound, there's a small murky blood begins pouring out of the wound, but also a burst of like the sea cracking against the rocks. A burst of salt water emerges from her ever so briefly as your magic takes effect.
It reminds me of home as I shoot at her again.
All right, make your second shot. This is just a flat roll.
And it's a flat miss, I'm assuming, with a 14.
14 is a miss. So you come out of the gate, take a shot at this orc. It hits her in the shoulder. It looks like it was a solid hit. It looks like it worked, but she looks at you. She's pissed. That was a pretty solid hit on her at the start. Anything else in your turn?
I'm gonna use the rest of my movement, get behind our barbarian friend, and bonus action hide.
So, as a quick reminder of how hide works.
Oh, I know how it works.
Okay. So you take a bonus action trying to duck behind. realizing that you are currently under. Looking around, there are these. There's massive light show in here. There are all sorts of these artificed cones that have small spirits that have been maybe bound to them that are giving beautiful sort of spotlight sort of effects onto this arena. So you see, as you begin rising, some of the cheap seats here at the beginning are able to see you all kind of go up, just beginnings of this fight. But you are still, there's purple and green and blue light. There's a whole visual spectacle going on above you. And unfortunately, you're pretty confident your hide attempt here is not successful. Very rarely do I not let you roll for it.
Oh no, that's completely fair.
Oh, all right. We're then going to move on to Agrippa, who is the hunter. Now you hear kind of continuing on Amy's rant. These aren't the pacifist orcs of the Pax Peninsula. No, tonight we bring you the Lords of Daravel. As they begin as the fight continues, she's going to go ahead and move a little bit further south, kind of scoping out the party. Let me go ahead and take a look to who okay, so I am going to split my fire here. So she pulls back this longbow. Oh, I don't need to split my fire. Two of you are close to each other. She's gonna go ahead. You watch as she pulls a small clutch of arrows from her quiver, pulls back her longbow and aims a little bit high. And as she looses it, I'm gonna need both Archie and I'm going to need Theo to go ahead and make me dexterity saving throws.
Do I see it?
Yes, does that effect work on all dexterity saving throws? Or is it I thought
Advantage on dexterity saves versus scene effects.
Okay. Yes, you're seeing someone fire a hail of arrows.
Hail. I got a 7.
7 is going to be a fail. As you have evasion,
I think evasion is actually going to be no, I don't.
you don't have evasion? Okay.
It's 6.
Alex?
20 for a 28.
Nat 20 for a 28.
Yes.
That's pretty good. That's going to be half damage on this. So this is 18 points of damage to Archibald, and it's going to be 9 points to our barbarian.
So 4?
You're not. Did you? I didn't realize you declared your rage before it. Were you raging before?
When we were prepared, I wanted to rage, yes.
Yes, but make sure you'll have to have attacked yourself to keep up a rage beforehand. So go ahead and just take damage equal to your strength modifier for that unarmed strike.
One more time, sorry.
You take 18 points of damage, Jake.
Thank you.
And I take 4.
Yes.
Okay, kill the archer.
She can only do that once. That's an action to use that ability. She can only use it once in a round. But that is the end of Agrippa's turn. We're then going to move on to these two orc brutes to the north. So you see they kind of begin ramping up, and they're going to go ahead and use a bonus action on the turn to activate the orcish aggression ability. They're going to move up to half its speed towards a creature it can see. 5, 10, 15. 5, 10, 15. And then maybe the rest of its movement here to get into. So you see, to get into range of Theodore. So that's going to be Theodore and our dear Dewdrop both have one of these orcish warriors charging up at them. All right, you know what? I need to get one more d20.
From me? I've got one that's been.
That's a spin down. I don't want to spin down.
Give me your pick.
Cool. All right, Dewdrop. First is coming at you. 3 swings with the Warglaive.
Okay.
One of these super misses, and then it's going to be a 21 and a 23.
Those will hit. I don't think there's anything I can do reaction-wise.
These are not
Yeah.
ranged attacks.
Yeah, that's
You do
okay.
see that it looks like on their back they do have quivers of, well, quiver's the wrong word probably, but they do have a collection of javelins with them. And that is going to be, for those 2 hits, 19 total points of damage.
Okay.
For those 2 hits. Nothing too major. Then 3 attacks going over at our barbarian. Theodore, that is going to be, I don't actually know your AC. An 11 certainly misses. 16?
It's a 19.
It's a 19. Okay, so only one of these is going to hit. And that's going to be for 9 points of damage, halved to 4. I'm always going to give you the full amount. So you can go ahead, you can half things on that one. And that is going to, so that's Battles and Licinius's turn. Licinius, who's the one who is attacking, who's overtaking Theo, is actually going to continue using his movement, provoking an attack of opportunity. just to get a little bit closer to your party's caster. Theodore, taking the reaction, swinging your weapon. What's that to hit?
17.
17 does hit.
$15 damage.
15 points of damage to him. You strike down as he's running. He almost staggers to the side. He staggers a little bit to the side, almost falling over, but does continue making his way there. Let me double check my count. 5, 10, 15. Cool. We're absolutely fine. And with that, we're going to end their turn and go to Theodore's turn. Theo, you've got a couple of these orcish warriors in the field and a couple of casters, it looks like. What are you doing?
Is throwing a weapon an attack or an action?
So throwing a weapon is an attack. Throwing a weapon that you're proficient or that you're not proficient in, as long as it's designed for combat in some way, just replaces with one attack.
Okay. So I'm going to throw my battle axe
Okay.
at the caster.
I will let you know, and your character would be aware of this. I am going to give you disadvantage on this. It's not a thrown weapon.
That's fine.
Okay.
I
you
more
do-
need to be able to
You do need
pick
to
it up.
move. You're not currently inside of a range where that's possible. You need to be within 20 feet of her to do so.
Okay. So, yeah.
Is that good?
I'm gonna go right up to her, so I'm gonna move, throw it, and then finish my movement.
And swing it a second time after picking it up?
No.
Oh.
Stop jumping the gun. I'm just kidding.
So, okay.
Yes.
You're moving up.
I'm
You're moving up
going
to this
to throw
point.
it now.
All right.
with
Go ahead and make me an
disadvantage.
attack roll with disadvantage with that.
That is. Do I take the to hit modifier?
Yes.
Okay. Then it's a 16.
A 16, unfortunately, just barely misses. So as it does, the weapon spins through the air, stabs. It looks like it's about to stab into her, but it's repelled slightly and stabs into the ground just in front of her.
Great. Now I'm gonna finish moving directly up in front of her, and now I'm
her, the caster.
I know. This
thought
is
that
the
was
the
magus.
cast. Oh, is that not a caster?
Yeah,
They're
this
both
is
casters, but
Oh.
I'm assuming you were talking about the person from before who was shot.
the seer versus the magus-like character.
Oh, I thought when
Yeah.
he said to for the spellcaster, I thought it would have been
The
the one
lightning.
with
Well,
lightning
right.
shooting out.
They
of
could
his
all
arms.
potentially cast spells. You do not know for certain who is who at this point.
Rangers cast
Sure.
spells, for example.
Great.
Unfortunately.
Rude.
That's fine. And I'm going to make not an attack, but I'm going to shove them. into
Okay.
the wall.
So using your knowledge of how the Battlesphere works, you do, now that you've begun rising up and all the features of the arena are slowly beginning to take place, you do see this shimmering purple field around the outside of this. Outside of the arena, it's just got this light sparking effect to it. I'm gonna go ahead and make an athletics check contested by your athletics. And I will let you know the DC for this one is going to be 17 is the number to beat.
I beat it.
You beat it?
Yeah.
All right, and you're attempting to push her 5 feet back or knock her prone.
Back.
All right, pushing her back into it. You do see, as she strikes against this, there is a small pang as once she hits this. It looks like it's shocked the outside barrier. This magic, this wall of purple arcane energy appears to have sparked and hurt her somewhat. It doesn't seem like it's a lot at the moment. All right, and is that going to be it for your turn?
Is it a bonus action to equip a weapon?
So you're allowed to draw or sheath one weapon a turn for free. So you'd be able to pick up your axe and wield it if you'd like to.
Great. Yeah, I just pick up my axe and then
Pulling it out of the ground.
Bonus action, spit it in the direction of the person.
Absolutely.
Disrespect.
Very rudely spitting. We're then going to go ahead. You guys begin hearing cheers and chants from high above. Titus! Titus! Titus!
Did I change my name again?
That's not.
And you just begin hearing boom, boom, boom. This war drum, bang, bang, coming from high up above. No one seems to take an action this turn. We'll continue on to Thist.
I'd like to start with a bang. So I'm actually going to use my Mystic Arcanum, and
Whoa!
I'm going to do Circle of Death, and I'm going to have the point be behind the shield, where I'm just getting these three folks on the eastern side.
Make me a quick perception check. The size of this, it might not be possible without killing the audience.
Okay.
You're talking about, I believe,
Can I
Circle of Death.
check for that?
Please do.
Yes.
Circle of Death, I want to say is it a 60?
30-foot radius.
Circle of Death is larger than Fireball. Double check that.
60
Yeah.
foot.
60-foot radius.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So if you want to hit just the end of this, it's going to be 120 feet out. You will kill hundreds of people.
Okay, cool. I will not do that.
that against the
'cause that's a
rules?
bad idea.
I'm pretty
yes.
sure it's against the rules.
The people who, by now, you've only been fighting here for about 6 seconds. So the people here have only paid probably 100 gold pieces for the nicer seats at this level. We're gonna get to the point relatively soon where people are paying thousands of gold to watch a fight.
60 feet means the whole arena.
If you
We can take it.
you can, there is a place you can use that spell. I'm not trying to say no. If you would like to fire it directly above, you can try to hit this in a point, but it is going to end up hitting your dear friend Theo.
Friends are strong.
Is it a sphere?
It is
It
a
is
sphere.
a sphere, but like it's con, which they're also wargs. So
Oh, I'm Theo.
Yeah.
Yeah, hit me.
Theo says hit him.
All
We're
right.
gonna do it.
Knowing what's going on, you end up.
I have a D6.
Oh yeah. You end up
Exactly.
invoking this
70.
massive power. Your hands begin to get engulfed in flames. Almost for a brief moment, you swore your skin is gone and all there was flame. No limbs, no flesh, just fire itself. As they return, you release this energy, this necrotic wave.
I'm gonna need some con saves.
I'm gonna make some con saves. All right.
I'm gonna puff out my chest.
Is that a good laughter?
Well, the mage just rolled a natural 1.
Oh, okay.
27 plus.
Good for who?
The gray-skinned orcish woman rolled a 15. That's a fail. The ranger, the person with the archer, way above your DC.
Above 17.
Way above your DC.
Cool. That's 27 points of necrotic damage. They take half on a pass, and plus 4 fire damage.
Plus 4 fire damage. That is good to know. Let me go ahead and add this in here. And is there anything else you're doing on your turn?
have one
Yes,
more
I'm gonna need. I'm gesturing to this prop, and I'm going to bonus action use my elemental gift to fly.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and here, let me
26.
Don't do it.
real quick.
Yeah.
Because of the way that the camera works, I'm gonna go ahead and also move you a little bit. You're up, but I want to make sure that you're nice and visible.
I'm effectively 30 feet up.
Great. Part of this is, and part of the, we're avoiding too much meth because you are on a rising platform, so you're using part of your movement to kind of keep going up and keep yourself out of melee range.
If it helps, the text says I hover effectively.
Right, which would make you be descending proportionally.
Okay.
So the
move
magus
up.
failed. Took that. It's a total of 31 points of damage.
Mm-hmm.
Looked like all of that damage went through on the magus.
Don't like
The
mages.
huh?
Don't like mages that aren't me.
I will mention that it appears that something about your spell was relatively effective against the ranger. Despite them passing the save, they ducked down, but you see they kind of took it a little bit longer to recover than you'd expect from someone who was so quick just a moment ago. Okay. And now Theodore, you had to make the save as well. What did you roll?
26.
26 is a pass. So you're gonna take half of that damage.
So 15.
So 15. Okay.
Sorry.
With Fist flying above the battlefield, we're gonna go over to Dewdrops. Dewdrops, the battle has started. You're well practiced, and you don't know where your house is.
Great. I'm lost and confused all the time, so like nothing new was happening. I see that my dear friend Archie's right here, and I know I'm a little bit quicker than him.
You also do have an orc directly next to you who just stabbed you.
But I don't want to stand where I am, so I'm gonna swing around behind him.
I like it. Moving around for a potential flanking in just a moment. You might not know a lot of things, but you do have quite a bit of combat sense.
Archie taught me that if I stand on the other side of somebody from him, then we're both better at fighting.
We're better together.
So I'm gonna do my first 2 attacks.
All right, making your swings. Go.
I've cocked.
All right, you quickly dart around this
Better.
orcman. Huh?
Where did she go?
A little bit surprised by the swiftness of this tabaxi.
A 17 and a 28.
Both of those are gonna hit.
Great. That'll be 2 separate D8s. What did I do with my D8s?
Here,
Oh my goodness.
I got you. So,
Okay.
personally, I
I
use
wanted to
mine
find
as a
them.
book holder.
18 points of damage from those. I would like to also go ahead and just use my Blood Fury.
Okay, so the brand on one of your forearms, or is it on your leg?
It's on my
It's
left
on your
calf.
leg. Once again, unfortunately, you keep having to buy boots as it begins burning through the leather once more, emerging this runic scar. It almost looks like on your leg, and as you do, your claws have a bit more fury behind them.
So it was 18 there plus another 10 points of necrotic damage. I heal 10.
Great, healing that up. I like it.
And then using a key point to swing 2 more times with Flurry of Blows.
Great, using your flurry of blows, go ahead and roll those attacks versus AC 16. You can tell you've fought stronger guys than this before. He's tough, but he's got nothing on you.
It'll be a math 20 and a 15.
All right, 1 hit. So go ahead and roll damage once.
It'll be 10 points of magical slashing damage.
All right, taking those strikes against Ballas, we're gonna go ahead and is that gonna be it for your turn?
I have to roll a d20 now to see if I disappear.
All right, the effects of blink. Now, I do apologize. Just remember on future turns, I believe blink is concentration, is it not?
No.
It's not concentration.
It's not concentration.
It just
That
lasts,
is
Crazy.
fantastic. There's a lot
it
of.
lasts for 10 rounds.
Okay.
So I'm gonna roll a d20 and on an 11 or higher, I disappear. I rolled a 16, I disappear.
Okay. Luckily, you will reappear in this space, which is always relative to the thing you're standing on. So
We
you
don't-
will still appear here.
Yeah, we don't. And if somebody moves where you were, you shunt to the left or right.
Right. What I was letting you know is we don't have the problem of you appearing below the arena.
Maybe don't do
All right, Dewdrops, that's the end of your turn. We're going to go ahead and move on to
Sorry.
Jorson. Jorson, you hear, our champions, 6 green-skinned warriors, the warrior lords of Daravel. Under the guidance of Blood Chief Titus, these orcs were able to reclaim Daravel.
Dare smell, actually.
Wow, that's offensive, first of all. No. So Amy kind of yelling out again with his magically projected voice. Legends say that Titus has an ace up his sleeve, a trusted lieutenant with a powerful secret. And with that, it's gonna be Jorson. What do you have for me? No one's hurt you so far. Roxo at your side.
I'm gonna bonus action activate my Blade Song, get a boost to AC,
Okay.
and I'm gonna cast Tasha's Mind Whip at 3rd level.
Uh-huh. I just remembered the horrible sound I used to make for Roxo.
Yeah. And I'm gonna cast it on the hunter here, and then the one in front of Theo.
Okay. What saves do I need to make here?
So it should be an in save.
All right. So the seer, I will let you know, fails, and the hunter is going to be a success.
Success. So 17.
One of them under 10, one of them over 20.
Got it.
218.
Okay, so max damage is 8. They succeed, it's half. And the one that failed, the seer. Oh, 9. Sorry, my math is bad. The one that failed can only do an action, bonus action, or move on their turn. Only one of the 3.
Rude.
Yeah.
Love it.
Very, very rude. I don't appreciate it, but I respect it. Okay.
And then I'm gonna move. I'm gonna get in this guy's face,
Hey, how you doing?
and I'll have Roxo help me. That's my turn.
Okay. With that, let's go to Augustus's turn. That is going to be the Magus. Boo! Clella, so upset. If you're joining us for tonight for a one shot, this is your first time with stories. Clella plays a Magus on our Elts campaign, and much like when Clella played a wizard and hated every single wizard that they had ever met, apparently that extends now to Maguses.
It's my thing.
It's your don't share classes with Clella. It's rude.
Bards.
She just might
I
burst.
have never played a bard.
There's
You've
so
also never
many
played a
of them.
cleric.
Huh?
I said she just might burst.
She just might. Oh.
It's because they have a.
All right.
Whoosh.
On Augustus's turn, let's see. Taking a look at what things are going on here. Going to go ahead and support the spellcaster. Is going to go ahead and move right here. So this is one thing. One thing I will say about Roll20 that I was a big fan of is being able to make angles on things. I'm gonna go ahead and he's gonna begin casting a spell. He moves up, blade in hand, right up in front of Theodore, and is gonna ask for a dexterity saving throw from him and Archibald. You watch as he points his blade forward, and an arc of lightning fires forward as he casts Lightning Bolt.
No.
But I can see it, right?
Yes, you can see it.
This dice going.
Not a bad roll.
Do you need this one?
Archibald,
I only got a 14 or 13. 13.
fail, 34 points of lightning damage,
Using my
20.
reaction.
halving that. And reminder, you don't have evasion, never mind. I almost did the evasion speech again.
I wish.
And then
23.
23, that's a success, so you're gonna half that.
All I do is take half.
It's all I do is take half and swing, which like respect. And then from there is we use the rest of his movement to not be next to the electrified wall.
What was half dam? What was the dam?
34.
34. 17.
You can do math.
Hey man.
I'm struggling right now.
Okay, that was his action. For a bonus action, I don't think he has anything he actually wants to use here. His weapon is already, he already has his weapon enhancement on. I know, weapon burst, it's real rude.
Good.
Okay, and with that, we're gonna go to the end here for Catella the Seer. You see, she's standing here. I do not like how close this barbarian is, but she's gonna go ahead and take one step a little bit closer. It's gonna first make a claw attack. She brings up her gnarled hand. Is gonna make one swipe at you with advantage because she's flanking with her magus. That's a 17.
No.
17 is a miss, and she's going to begin as a bonus action casting a spell.
Yeah, you can only move with her.
I can only move. You were
Yeah.
correct. My
Thank you
apologies. I
for
should have put the
reminding
marker on there. Somebody.
So you can still move. You just can only move and
Or you can
use
say
an
that.
action. bonus
I
action.
don't know, but she was thrown into the wall, and you said something may not have happened.
That's
yet.
going to be gone after this round.
Oh, the wall itself might change. You know that the Battlesphere, each arena is outfitted with a number of artificed enchantments
Okay.
and gadgets and gizmos. There's a hair that really... all sorts of gizmos that are going to be influenced. You don't know the outcome. One time the ground kept turning into gnomes, and that was a weird fight. But what happens here is a little bit strange. So given that I can't move forward and attack, I obviously wouldn't have moved forward and attacked. My apologies for that. Yeah, I suppose it's the only thing I can really do. In that case, I'm going to go ahead and begin casting a spell.
I'm not gonna waste a slot in counter spell.
Okay, excellent. You watch as... Let's see, 5, 10, 15...
Should have gotten a problem.
I'm not doing Pythagorean theorem. I'm going to need a Constitution saving throw from Fist. As you watch as the seer, holding her gnarled hand up, thinking for a moment of swinging down at the barbarian, instead reaches her other hand up, and you watch as a beam of gorgeous light begins emanating outwards. This bright beacon. Your con save?
15.
That is going to be a fail. You are blinded, and you will take some... You're going to take some radiant damage
Is
here.
it color spray?
This is the spell Sunbeam.
Oh,
It's
great.
even better.
And she is concentrating. You're watching as her hand continues to glow here.
I don't even have that spell.
Who are
So
you?
it's 26 points of damage. Not a lot of damage, but you are blinded.
Oh no, my temporary hit points.
It was like all of your temporary points.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was all of them.
All hit points.
She's trying to act not hurt, but she's like limping at this point.
I'm sad.
Too bad it wasn't a melee.
All
attack.
right.
It would've
At
taken
the start of the
serious
round, we get a little bit higher,
Oh, wait,
and
I'm so sorry. Never mind.
You good?
I already did a thing.
cool.
I was gonna reduce the damage that she took, but I already used my reaction to hit somebody who was
Perfect.
moving out of range.
At the start of the round, the war drums and the cheering get louder and louder and louder. And at the start of the round, Blood Chief Titus is going to make his appearance. Emerging on the back of a massive mammoth.
What I was waiting.
An Apexian beast. You see this massive orc, old, long white hair. Victoria just walked back in the room. Huge, huge eyes, so much concern. As Titus...
Does it have trucker nuts?
As Titus and his mammoth leap onto the stage, you just hear this orcish man cry out,
Go, meat! Slay!
and with, yes, meet the mammoth. And with that, that's going to be the start of round 2. It's not his turn right now, but he does arrive now. Additionally, some more things might happen in Initiative 20. We'll talk about it when we get there. We're going to go ahead to Archie's turn. Archie, there's a mammoth now? And there's a guy riding it?
Meet and greet.
Why is it that every time I come here, something convoluted happens? I just want a normal
It's the
day.
entire thing of the Battlesphere.
A mammoth?
We're
It's
not.
been extinct.
This
You're
is
not
a rectangular
convoluted.
prison.
There was once a duel on top of a dragon that was in a different fight.
You have a good point.
in
Okay.
sphere.
So, I do not like what's going on, but I mostly just don't like spellcasters. I'm gonna go ahead and spend my movement to get in flanking. Sorry, you getting flanking with.
All right, you're gonna flank the magus, your barbarian.
Bonus action. I'm gonna go ahead and cast Spirit Shroud as well.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna start.
You need to remind me about Spirit Shroud things.
I will.
Okay.
Just to start, I'm gonna make a quick swing at her.
All right. Coming up, drawing your. It's not in the tray. Jake, you
With
were.
a 19.
Yeah. Well,
Oh.
didn't exist.
How much
You
time?
charge up to the magus, making a strike here.
Advantage.
Yeah.
Advantage.
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 Roll another die.
That's fair. I'm not
Just
ready
in
for
case.
my life.
What was that roll?
It was a lot and nothing at the
It's
same
dancing
time.
around
So that
everywhere.
is going to be a 25 to hit.
A 25 does, in fact, hit the magus. You strike down on him. He's already pretty wounded. You guys hit him pretty hard earlier.
So with Spirit Shroud, anytime I hit someone, I can add a 1d8. They can't heal until next round, and then someone starts their turn within 10 feet of me. I can
No
reduce
idea how much this has foiled my plans. I don't appreciate it, but I do respect it.
Well, maybe don't respect the damage too much. That is only going to be 9 damage.
9 damage, not very much. You have sneak attack.
You sneak attack.
I know, I'm hitting again. I have 2 hits. Do you think I should use the dagger?
You should just use it on the one you know hit, and don't wait for a crit.
You know what? That's fair. I was trying to bait out a
Yes,
know.
and decide before you roll any of the damage dice now on the future ones.
That's fair.
Cool.
Not bad. Well then, instead of just being 9, that one is going to be 14 plus 9, 23.
Oh. So you did 14 damage more. Sorry, I've already written the previous damage. You don't need to
Yes.
keep adding them. Cool. 14 more damage. Excellent. So pretty solid hits. You can see this guy is already pretty hurt, pretty beaten up. That strike there was bad, and you watch as it seems like he had started beginning an incantation of some spell, but as you strike him, he curses in Orcish under his breath and seems to kind of change his plan here.
Yeah. I still have one more attack. Let's hope it goes through. Does a 21 hit?
21 does in fact hit.
Okay.
All right, 12 points of damage. You continue hacking at this magus, and he is bloodied. You've got a couple good hits on him. He's been dodging, taking a little bit of his stamina as he goes, but finally one good hit, and it seems like he's hurt here. Let's go ahead and continue. That's going to be Agrippa's turn. Agrippa, that hunter from before, not unhappy with the current position of the battlefield, but I do not like that there's a flyer on the battlefield. And I do believe you're still blinded. So let me go ahead and I'm going to make some attack rolls at you, Clella.
Do you have counterspell?
For attack
I
rolls.
do not.
Clella's also blinded, and so would not see the source of where this was.
Just gonna fly into somebody's window.
You know what? I'm going to declare my first attack against you. I don't know where the second one's coming yet.
She might die.
Who was your other target that can only do one thing on their turn?
They succeeded, so
Yes.
they can't.
It would have been the hunter.
Would have been a hunter. Yeah.
And so that's going to be a 25 to hit.
Yes.
She didn't even see it
Shield.
coming.
Just kidding.
Yeah, did you not prepare shield?
What spell slots?
Oh, so you're not a blazinger, okay.
I'm even a wizard.
Who are you?
So it's just shy of max damage. 23 points of piercing damage. And as this bolt strikes you, you've been hit by arrows before. This is incredibly strong. You are shunted back 5 feet. Let me go ahead and move you just a little bit here. I'm gonna go ahead and take my second shot here. Let me see.
At this.
Connor.
No,
You know, I don't hate the idea of shooting fist again, but instead I think I'm gonna shoot, even though you'll have a little bit of cover, I'm actually gonna take a shot at the Monk Dewdrop.
I'm on a different plane.
You're on a different plane. Thank you so much. It really is
I
appreciative.
put the circle.
Yes. I cannot actually see your miniature from where I'm
Ah,
sitting.
Ethereal plane.
Don't blink, Doctor Who joke. Welcome.
Nope, I'm not even gonna. Nope, I'm saying nothing. We're then gonna go ahead and shoot Archibald. Archie, I'm gonna go ahead and good job taking a shot at you. That is well above a 20.
Sounded like Dewdrop playing her harp.
that actually was in tune though.
Better
It says
than my
19 points of piercing damage as this arrow strikes against you.
Should I burn another reaction? I think I will.
You're gonna use your reaction for this round to half the damage. I'll bring it down to 9 points of damage. Okay. Hey man,
I wanted
you
that
guys don't have a lot in terms of healing, so.
Nope.
Also, a reminder: you are also you would be aware that the glowing magical effect of that orcish woman, she's still holding that sunbeam. She's still concentrating on that spell, which means she can continue to use it.
You can take that off too. The mind whip is done after.
No, you can keep it there. I'm remembering the sunbeam now.
Oh, okay.
Oh, fair enough.
Perfect. All right. From there, we're going to advance. It's going to be initiative number 20. Jake, I'm going to ask you to roll me a real quick d6.
Wow.
It was a one.
It's a 1. See? Could have listened to Alex.
Is it a good
You
one?
watch this in the center of the arena. One of these very old-looking stone altars rotates out from underneath one of the blocky grid-like stones, the flagstones that make up this arena. It has 2 massive red gems that appear to be dimly glowing, pulsating almost, as well as a collection of artifice tubes that appear to be connecting to some sort of device within. You'll need to make some skill checks to know what exactly this is, but it is a stone altar. It looks pretty heavy, but it's not physically attached to the ground. It was lifted up by some mechanism within the platform. As we continue up, all right, with all of our combatants within the arena, who will be victorious? Until one of them falls, bets are still open. You people freaking out, cheering, crying out. We're
It's a
gonna
bad system.
we're gonna continue up. That's gonna be rude. That's gonna be up to the orc berserkers, Ballas and Licinius. Taking a quick look, without a monk here, I am gonna go ahead and leave where I'm at. Let's go ahead and move here first.
Somebody say line attack?
Huh?
Somebody say line attack?
He's not in line fully, but
Yeah.
be good.
Close attack then.
Really appealing to me.
Yeah. Hit me, it's fine.
That is absolutely with flanking that can happen. The other orc here is going to also stay, and he's going to stay where he is to make his attacks there. So first, let's go ahead and start with Ballas. Ballas is going to make 3 attacks over at Archibald. I'm actually going to make first. I'm going to have you make an acrobatics check first. I'm going to replace my first attack with a shove attempt. So that is a 17 to beat.
17 to beat. I matched exactly.
You matched exactly. I like to rule in players' favor, so as he attempts to shove you to the ground and give himself advantage on his future attacks, unfortunately not able to do it. Just going to make his 2 attacks with his war blades. A natural 1 and a 16.
16 exactly matches.
16 matches. Unfortunately, in this case, that is going to be me, because that is how armor class always works. I'm just going to go ahead and roll my damage. There's going to be 9 points of slashing damage against you. And then going over to the other side of the arena, this orc, taking up his warglaives, is going to reach back and almost as if they were just There are brass knuckles with swords attached to the knuckles as he begins punching at you for these 3 swings, Jorson. Pretty good. Pretty good. A 5 on the die.
Nailed it.
A 17 on the die.
Miss.
And a natural 20. 17 on the die is I shouldn't have told you the die. It's a 24.
24 hit, so I'll shield.
Your shield avoiding that first hit. Just going to take the natural 20. On a critical hit, I am going to need you to make me a Constitution saving throw.
Hold on. I just want to check one.
Please
So
do.
I might change. Oh, that is okay. That's
Plus,
fine.
so 21, and then plus shield would be 26.
I was checking for uncanny dodge. It's a reaction as well, so I can't
Gotcha.
do both.
Yes.
But I'll shield.
Okay. I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw.
$18 plus.
That is a pass.
2, so 20. Math 20.
So you're only going to take half of this. I'm going to total up the damage. As he strikes into you, the dagger digs in and he twists as he's pulling out. This warglaive just rips through a lower bit of your armor, shattering a piece of it. So that's going to be 22 points of damage all told, mixed between slashing and piercing. And as he rips his weapon out of you, begin bleeding, you feel that wound could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
And that is going to be his turn. Let's move down. Theodore, there's violence going on everywhere. Love is in the air. It's just past Valentine's Day. What are you doing?
Forgetting to use Spirit Shield. And hitting the bloodied mage behind me.
Okay, just striking down on the mages. He is looking quite hurt. With a couple more good hits, and he could go down. And give you guys a more even playing field.
You have advantage on that.
Do you have advantage?
I'm 22. Does that hit?
Sure, but you can check for a
Oh,
crit.
okay.
Your crits are crazy.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
It's a 23 though.
Okay. Go ahead and roll that roll that damage. Actually, I will let you know that. Never mind. Go ahead and roll your damage. I'm a huge sucker for rolling all at once. Sometimes it isn't correct though.
You want me to make my second hit?
No. Just roll your damage. You're fine.
Oh, okay. 12? 13.
13 points of damage. He is still standing. You strike against Augustus. He's like kind of a little bit wobbly on his feet. You watch for a moment. The sparks fade from his weapon and then reignite. Got a little bit of juice left in the tank.
I'm gonna do it again.
I'm gonna hit him again. Go for it.
That's a 22.
22. And I need to know before you roll damage, are you attacking lethally or non-lethally?
Non-lethally.
Non-lethally. You guys can still win by knockout. It's that there is no magical protection forcing non-lethal damage. Okay.
I'm gonna hit him with the flat side of my axe.
Yeah, slapping this guy. Go ahead and roll that damage.
12.
12 points of damage. Let me just double check this real quick. And with that, as you bring your axe to bear, striking on the side of the head, the mage just not only falls, he does a full, it looks like he does a full front flip as he was kind of mid-rotation, spins in the air and collapses over to the side. And that is one less enemy in the battle. I'm gonna go ahead and move him off here to the side. After he's there for a few moments, you watch as the arena rotates, and he disappears underneath. I'm gonna go ahead and keep him here for display purposes, so what you've beaten so far. But with those 2 attacks, that is one of your targets down. The crowd goes absolutely nuts at the sheer display of strength. Do you have anything else on your turn?
No.
All right. As you begin moving up the smell, because you're getting to a little bit fancier portion of the seating out here, you begin smelling like fried foods and mixed with weird perfumes from all sorts of different lands. It's a little bit distracting as you're up here. Let's continue on. That is going to be Titus's turn. I'm very, very excited to try this out. However, I'm in a very bad spot.
I would like to go before you.
I would also like for her
Samesies.
to go for her.
My initiative was 13. In case you're
Dang.
curious.
Single
So
digits?
they do act on the same initiative. I'm gonna go ahead. Meat is going to begin moving.
I'm not there.
I
by the
know.
way. So you can just
I
walk
know.
over me.
There's a big piece that I'm planning.
Okay, cool.
So as he begins moving to the side, and then cool. Difficult terrain here, so I'm only gonna be able to get here. You watch as the mammoth begins charging, roaring, bringing its head down low as it moves up. Jorson, I have 2 attacks coming at you.
Okay.
One of them is going to be from Meat, who is going to attempt a trampling charge. Now I do have to ask for you to make a strength. Oh, you know what? I actually have to check to see if I hit first. The first attack is a gore attempt. It's a 19, which I don't believe actually hits you.
That's a
as it brings down the bit of the bit of the tusk splinters as it charges by. It's still more than enough. You can see this these massive tusks, a spray of blood as you injure this creature as it's charging by. Unfortunately, right behind that first blocked attack is going to be the massive war spear swing, and that is going to be. That's going to be a 19 to hit, Jorson, which is still a miss, I believe.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's a miss.
He's going to go ahead and you see while he's up there, kind of looking around as he continues rotating around. Mechanically, just to let you know what's going on. Meat has a singular attack. The rider has 2. However, he's only going to swing his weapon once and use the second one as he's passing by to attempt a shove on you. So go ahead and make me an athletics or acrobatics check. Okay. The DC of this is going to be 20 flat.
Advantage because the blade song doesn't matter. Because I got a 7.
You are knocked prone. It might not matter too much in this particular position, but he's going to go ahead and knock you prone. And that will be his turn. We're going to continue on Fist.
I'm in a tough
You are
spot.
blind.
I'm in a tough spot, which means there's only one option. Take out my lamp, do my cat stroke, like, it's not called Bottle Respite, is it? Let me double check the name. Yeah, Bottle Respite. As an action, I can vanish into my lamp. So I do. I go into my lamp and, blinded, seek the source of heat and say, Ifriti, I'm going to die here unless I can see. Please help me, and I will do whatever you want.
These warlocks always coming at me with deals. I love it. All right. As you you hide away here for a moment, blinded, the familiar smells of both burning fire and perfume within this lamp. Go ahead and make me a real quick persuasion check.
I wish I had a patron like that.
Your patron's bigger.
That's going to be a 23.
23. As you're kind of lying here, you just faintly, you don't hear the words, but a sentiment comes to mind, burned into your very soul upon this request. It's simple. All things burn away, even this magic. Just this very simple answer.
So cryptic.
It is.
What are you going to do with that?
I think she's saying I'm gonna
Yes.
kill you with
What I will say, because of that high roll, is you are aware your blindness will go away in a few seconds. It goes away it will go away on her turn.
Okay.
It's not permanent blindness.
Okay. But I'm gonna stay in my
Right. Is it an action to leave?
bonus action.
Bonus action to leave. Excellent. Perfect. So the lamp clatters to the ground on the arena, and is just resting there. It's pretty small. It's a tiny object. Then we're gonna go ahead and move to Dewdrops. Dewdrops.
I reappear.
Here I am.
I'm very terrified because I've been hanging out in the ethereal plane for the last 6 seconds and suddenly there's a mammoth. So I'm gonna move up to the mammoth. And I'm gonna roll slow because there's gonna be some things I'm gonna decide whether or not I'm doing.
You're gonna attack the mammoth, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm flanking with Jorson. Jorson's a blade song wizard. Do I have advantage?
He's prone.
He's
prone.
prone.
Never mind.
I can still swing from a prone
you can
position.
still swing from a prone position. It's more of an issue for him. I'm gonna still give it to you to remain consistent with our
Okay.
previous rules.
Toying with the strings of fate.
Cool. That'll be a 19 on the hit.
19 absolute.
I'm
hits.
going to spend a key point. Will you please make me a Constitution saving throw, or else the mammoth is stunned?
That's going to be an 18.
You pass. I'm gonna roll damage. That'll be 6 damage. I'm gonna roll again to hit.
I'm so sorry. Don't tell me anything that you just did. That was a 16 on the con save.
Still passes.
Okay. How much damage did you just do?
6, I think.
6.
Yeah.
Not very much.
Okay.
That'll be a 24 to hit.
Absolutely.
Make a
it.
Constitution.
AC 13.
Make a Constitution saving.
Oh, you know what? I think I was seeing the pattern. 14.
That fails. You are stunned.
Suck it.
Meat is stunned. You leap up into the air, kick, kick, kick. And as you're striking this creature, it pauses. And as it does, it's confused. It's not intelligent. And you strike a point where it falls. It brings its back left leg down onto its knee, and it's struggling to stand back up.
That'll be another 12 points of damage.
Okay. It doesn't seem very hurt though.
Bonus action.
Uh-oh. I'm in danger!
I'm scrambling up the mammoth.
How much movement did you have left?
I have another 30
It's
points.
just gonna be difficult terrain.
I have another 30 points of movement.
It's stunned. It's staying still mechanically, so you can climb up just
Cool.
using double speed, so you could just be on top.
I'm on top. Bonus action.
You climb up
I'm
here.
spending a key point.
Oh no. It looks like she's decided to become a mammoth rider herself. Will Dewdrop survive, or will she be cleaved in twain like Titus's former foes?
I'm gonna swing. I do not have advantage because now I'm 30 feet up in the air, right?
Correct. I'm not giving you advantage from where you are.
That'll be 21 to hit.
21 does hit him.
I'm
However,
going to-
it's pretty close.
I'm going to expend a use of my Blood Fury.
Toria loves expending resources.
Yeah, especially if you're a monk. It's so fun.
Okay.
Okay, so it
I'm
is
mad she didn't spend both of her attacks for now.
15. 19 points of necrotic damage plus 8 points of magical slashing damage. How much is it necrotic? 19. I'm healing 19 points of damage.
Nice.
Okay. And do you have a fourth swing for me?
Yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and roll it now.
Please do.
I'm healed now, so.
Victoria's on top of the mammoth, Clella, in case you missed that.
That's not gonna hit. It's then 11.
An 11 absolutely doesn't hit. That wouldn't
Now I
actually
need
hit.
to see if I disappear or not. I do not disappear.
Oh man.
You and I shall do great battle today.
All right.
Someone's got a crush.
Is that your reaction?
She pulls out her ting ting ting.
I have something to tell you.
like,
This is
"Ah,
actually really big news. I have 2 pieces of information you might find very exciting. As the mammoth pauses, kneeling down, you hear a confused...
Hang on, I forgot one thing. My last thing. On my
No,
first,
that's fine.
On my first hit of the flurry of blows,
Yes.
could you please make a dexterity saving throw?
Natural 20. Additionally, while you're up here, I'm going to go ahead and let you know. You do see he's physically attached to the
Oh,
mammoth.
I wanted to now come prone.
He's not sitting here. He is strapped to this
Never
saddle.
mind, I should have done something else. That's okay.
You could possibly damage this, but it seems he's built. He's holding where he's at. His weapon is probably around 15 feet long. Would you say? Like 18 maybe. It is a massive weapon. I mean, look, if he's like 6.5 feet tall.
No, I was just shaking my head at the ridiculousness of the
Oh, it's absurd. He swings this massive. It's an orcish war glaive.
Yeah.
He's charging.
There's no save.
Polo.
There's no save for taking no reaction, so I should have just said you don't get to react.
Okay.
We're good.
So is he a mammoth centaur or is he like strapped?
He's strapped.
He's strapped there. You can see it better from this side. He has like a.
He's
Okay,
got
I gotta
legs.
say because he's a miniature, he's got cute little legs.
He's got teeny little legs.
He's got teeny tiny little legs.
That can't be comfortable to ride a mammoth.
Oh, absolutely not. Horses aren't comfortable to ride.
Look, I can actually get my legs around a horse. I don't know if
Yeah.
I can do that on a mammoth.
He has a point.
This guy works the that one machine a lot.
John
The
Claude
adductor,
Van Damme,
abductor.
eat your heart
Yeah.
out.
But that is going to be the end of Dewdrop's turn. Standing here on top of the mammoth. Let's see if we can go ahead and get this shot.
It's gonna work. It's
Nestle
gonna work.
me in there. There we go.
Beautiful.
Okay.
We got it.
It works.
We got it.
Dewdrops on mammoth.
Drops on mammoth.
New name.
Absolutely. Oh, giving a bit of DM inspiration over to Alex, we're going to move on to Jorson's turn. Jorson, Dewdrops is doing what she does all the time. You're on the ground, an orc is above you. Roxo seems to be reacting very strangely to this mammoth. That's a crow sound. I don't know how to make. I guess scree.
I'm kind of
Tobias from Animorphs.
Oh yeah. This is now an Animorphs show.
kind of annoyed that I got knocked down, so I'm gonna stand up.
You got knocked down, but you got up again.
I got up again. And then
Alex,
15
man, my
seconds.
man.
I'm gonna swing around in front of this orc,
Oh, absolutely.
and I'm going to cast a spell.
Your spell is not interrupted by any enemy spellcasters.
I'm gonna cast lightning bolt. I'm trying to hit the orc, the mammoth, and the hunter behind him.
Absolutely, and you will not hit on accident. Dewdrop is about 10 feet too high for this,
That's the idea.
and the mammoth automatically fails this save.
Perfect.
Stunned.
Also, I'm
They're
going to
technically
use a
disadvantage, which
feat.
fails.
I'm going to use a charge of the Magister's Arcanometer and do max damage.
I'm so excited. You all hear for a moment click as resonating through here, a wave of magical energy pulses outwards. The arena trembles for a brief moment before continuing. And as you fire this arc of lightning, where normally it's chaotic, here it is a solid, nearly perfectly straight beam with only the smallest threads. So that is 8d6 damage.
So 8d6, it would be
48 points of damage.
Right.
Happens.
It just happens? They don't even see
No,
it?
they make their saves still.
Oh, okay.
But he doesn't roll damage on this.
The boy mammoth is the
Or-
boy. Any
less.
large creature I just call boys.
Or
The boy is stunned.
so the orc warrior who's closest to you, that is going to be a 16.
It's a fail.
That's a fail, so he's going to take full damage. This is the one who's taken that already. You said it was 48. He is now on death's door. Coco is back. Our little Bichon familiar has returned to the table. And finally, Agrippa the hunter does not have a good modifier. That's only going to be a 16 here.
It's a fail as well.
I'm going to take that. That is a good bit of damage. You watch, once you've hit her, she stops for a moment, letting a hand off of her bow, and just she like weirdly steadies herself for a while, like she's focusing on something as hard as she can. And takes a deep breath and continues the fight. Coco's wild.
Just a little bit of smoke coming off of her.
Yeah, I would say that's actually fair. You can see there's singes of smoke here, but you notice among that darkened black-gray smoke from the burned cloth on the outside of her outfit, revealing a little bit of bronze armor on one of her shoulders, you also see what looks to be small wisps of green energy emanating off of her. Not entirely certain from here what that is.
Kind of smells like ozone now because of all the lightning.
You absolutely disintegrated part of this. Luckily, and I want to clarify something from an earlier spell that Clella cast. You were trying to cast a spell outside of the arena going in, which is doable. Shooting a spell out of it directly, we don't worry about that sort of thing. Just to clarify for those of you who might have curiosity. Jorson, do you have anything else in your turn? Nearly dead. The mammoth is very hurt by that, and Agrippa still seems pretty healthy despite her weird behavior.
I used half my movement to get up,
Yes.
so I still have
15.
20. Because I have 40 as a...
You have 40, not
Wait.
35. Then yes, you have 20 feet left.
5, 10, 15, 20... No, I'll stay where I'm at.
Okay. Then let's go ahead to Augustus the Magus' turn. Oh wait, he's gone. I'm gonna go ahead and scratch him off here. That's gonna be Catella. Now Catella, she's still under the effects of that previous spell from before.
No, it's once they have their turn, it ends.
So I'm not living for what's going on entirely with our monk climbing on top of my Titus. So she's gonna go ahead and move around. She's gonna go ahead and move around. Oh wait, she wasn't actually in melee with Alex. Oh, that's so harsh.
We accidentally.
I'm gonna get into melee with you. She's going to crouch in front of you and go ahead and release another wave of energy. She's gonna use her action to ignite the sunbeam. I'm gonna need a Constitution saving throw both from Theodore and, of course, aiming this a little bit up. I'm gonna go ahead and need this as well from Dewdrops on Grass. There's no way for me to hit 3 of you.
Didn't you have advantage on that?
No.
Did you roll your save for me already?
26.
26! You're gonna take half damage and not be blinded? Oh, that's terrible. 11, 13.
Not being blinded.
18 total points of damage.
I got a natural 1.
18 points of damage. 9 for Alex. Unfortunately, Dewdrops, as this happens, your retinas sear as you're burning, your eyes burn, and all you see is bright white light. You are blinded until the start of its next turn.
Hang on a second.
Happens when
She's
you look
about
at
to
Victoria went, no, I might not be.
Hey,
Sorry, no, it's only immune to disease and poison.
I think
Only.
you're 11th level monk, right?
Yeah.
You have another feature that you can just end that effect, I believe.
Yeah. But I think it takes an action. Anyway.
Victoria is here to prove everyone that is a monk naysayer wrong.
That was Catella's turn, and she's not going to keep going.
Open hand monk, OP.
Yeah.
We're near the top of the round. Go to Archie. Archie, bad things. Bad things everywhere. That spellcaster's doing crazy work.
How much does the thing in the middle cost? Can I make an Arcana check to see what's up with it?
Make an Arcana. You can make an Arcana or a History check. I'll give you slightly different information for either.
You want to know how much money it's worth?
Hey,
Well-
I actually really like that flavor of do you know about it? Do you know if it's worthwhile to stab it?
Yeah.
Eating it like a coin.
What are the chances I could make a persuasion check and it tells me what it can do?
Hard no.
Oh. What are the chances that 16 gets me something?
16 will get you a little bit of something. Looking over, you know just the most minimal information about it. It looks like a magical well. So magic used to be simpler, weaker, and so to cast more powerful spell effects, they would gather various magical pieces or blood of magical creatures, or cast a lot of spells into some sort of container over a long period of time to make stronger magic. This looks like something you've seen like those before. It's some sort of magical well. They're worth a pretty good bit of money. This one looks really old, and old either means it's way less money or way more money.
I'm gonna do an Archie check. It's not enough money.
Just you rolling. He's not excited. Cool.
No, odds were too little. He's a pirate at the end of the day. No matter what, he steals first. So I'm gonna steal an idea. Is there a way that I could make a line from this corner of our orcish friend to hit the box, the mammoth, and maybe the other orc behind him? Straight line.
The orc on the ground,
Yes.
100%. Incurring an attack of opportunity if you'd like to provoke
Oh,
that.
I'm gonna stay in
That-
his range.
I don't think you'll be able to do it if you stay in his range.
No, you can do that. I'll
Here.
give that. Do you know the guy? If it's a deck save of some side, the guy behind is gonna have a huge bonus. The orc, the mammoth we described as kneeling down. It's a ton of cover there. Is that okay?
Oh, perfectly fine.
Great. What would you like to do, my friend?
I'm gonna start casting lightning bolt because once again, stealing ideas. See what I can do to hit the box, the mammoth, and the orc behind.
All right. So the closest orc to you is going to make a 17
Exactly pass.
pass. The object automatically fails. We'll describe what it does in just a second. This altar in the center, this magic well. The mammoth is still stunned.
Yes.
It's still stunned. So
Until the end of my next turn.
it's a natural 1, by the way. What its result would be on
Oh,
that
nice.
one. And the orc on the far side. And now this is the part where it's gonna be a little bit fun here. The straight line through this.
Mm-hmm.
I feel really bad.
Oh, am I gonna get rock though?
You would, but as you're looking through here, no, you're fine. As you strike this arcing lightning, Roxo flies out and dives into the far side of the woolly mammoth and avoids the spell effect ever so briefly. nuzzling just a little too long inside this mammoth's fur.
Mark's up.
We'll love again.
Get shit together.
And then that last orc is going to be a 15. So he'll fail.
17, yeah.
Yeah, so 1 success, 1 failure.
Oh, mathematics is hard.
Not max damage.
No.
Damn it.
Spoiler alert.
I see what you're doing.
Max damage feels real good, doesn't it?
Oh yeah. Because I don't really like line spells that much because they're very annoying to try to get at least maybe 2 or 3. But
28 for anyone that failed, half for who passed.
dude, max damage feels really good.
Right?
I usually
So-
say 2 targets for a line attack like that.
Yeah, because that's usually all you can get, really.
28 points of damage. Jorson, across the way, you see your hawk go and meet a new animal for a brief moment. But the orc in front of you is struck by lightning, and even with its massive bonus, it is down. The other orc that you hit, by the way, Archibald, is... It's so weird jumping between Archie and Archibald.
Was that lethal damage?
Oh, hell yes.
Spells are on.
They are, however, it is just unconscious and dying. Technically speaking, you don't necessarily have him killed.
I should spirit shield him if he's gonna die.
You can, if you'd like to use your reaction, you can ensure he will not die.
You can also use
I
it on
will
your
do that.
allies.
Let's talk about what happens. As you do, you all see one of these spiritual warriors emerge from your companion and fly across the battlefield, diving over him in the last moments. And as she protects this orc, he falls unconscious, but is protected from the storm ever so slightly.
Which one?
The one
orc
that was
who
in
on the
front
far
of me.
side.
Okay.
He's now here.
Okay.
The orc who is closest to you, however, Archie, is just barely hanging on. He's very hurt.
Did you say you were trying to hit this?
Oh, yeah.
It is now. I want to mention this one. The altar in the center, this mana well, is now, the red crystals inside are now glowing incredibly brightly, as if supercharged by a magical force.
Ooh. Bonus action.
A timer.
I'm gonna disengage and just get as far away from that circle as possible and that orc as possible.
Cool.
Regrets.
Sprinting away. That's going to be Agrippa's turn. Agrippa, I'm going to ask one of my players to roll this for me. I would like you to, Paula, would you roll me a d20? I don't know what the player wants, but something weird is going to happen if you roll low.
16.
A 16. You watch as she
The dice.
takes a deep breath. The smoke begins to fade. No more of those green wisps while she's here. And going to go ahead and make her attacks. Taking her strikes, going to shoot over at Theodore. Theodore, for my first attack, shooting at you. It's a natural 1. Then my second attack is going to go up at the blinded monk. Okay. That is going to be an 18 to hit.
That hits.
That hits you. Okay.
I can't deflect, can I? I'm blind.
I think it's something you can see coming.
I think it might. If it doesn't say that you can see, I will still allow you to spend your reaction.
Starting at 3rd level, you can use your reaction to deflect or catch a missile when you are hit by a ranged weapon attack.
So better.
With preternatural speed and just incredible, well-refined instincts, you reach behind you to catch this arrow.
Catch a lightning bolt.
Anyone else terrified of her?
10 plus dex mod, so 10 plus 5 plus monk level. 26 points are going to be reduced.
That reduces it to 0.
I'm going to throw it with disadvantage.
So go ahead and make an attack roll. Disadvantage. Use your same.
That's only a 13.
13 is going to miss. So you try to throw it back, but unfortunately, it's hard to return. Even though you caught this arrow somehow, it's hard to return it perfectly. Those were Agrippa's 2 attacks.
Oh, I didn't have to do that. Cool. Well, this has been the key point anyway.
Correct.
That you had to throw it if you did enough
No.
damage. Okay.
With that, I'm going to go ahead and roll another d6. As if motivated by some sort of force, a pair of red altars continues to appear around the arena. These crystals appear already charged by some effect, as if they're connected by some force, Jake.
So we keep hitting them.
As
They're
this
already
trio of
wub-wubbing.
stone altars, yeah, they're all glowing brightly. Wub, 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 wub.
Growing lightly and away from me is what I'm hearing.
That will then be. It's then going to be Ballas's turn. With Licinius down, he doesn't have a lot he can do here. Go ahead and charge over at our barbarian.
Sure. I'll take half damage.
Rude.
Oh my god.
That is a crit.
I'll take half of it.
Yeah, okay. The next hit swing is going to be a 22. That is a 18, I believe, misses you. You're correct.
does.
You're at a 19? Okay. All right, making my attack rolls real quick. It's gonna be 32 points of damage, halves to 16, Alex. How you looking? Great?
Even bloodied.
No. No, absolutely
I'm not even at half health yet.
That's what bloody.
Still has more health than I start.
Yeah.
That's gross. You're a gross guy. We're gonna continue on to Theodore. Theodore, you got hit. It was very rude.
I have taken 70 points of damage.
Oh, was that all? Jorson, what's your max HP?
75.
And I am not bloody.
Correct. All right, go ahead and make your turn, Alex.
Okay.
You stand here. The Orcish seer and one of her warriors are here. Across the way, you see your blinded monk is kind of frantically trying to take down their leader. The archer is quite confused at the moment.
Does the seer's hand still glow? Still concentrating on that spell?
So the seer herself has not been hit since the beginning of the concentration. I will let you know somebody has a concentration time of 1 minute. She can do this every single turn until she breaks concentration.
The well thing that you were talking about, is it like open? Like, could I stick my hand into it?
Taking a quick look over, you couldn't stick your hand into it, but if you'd like to touch the crystal and see what it does, I will let you do that as a replacement for 1 attack.
Oh, no, I'm not going to. I just wanted to know if it was open. I'm
There's a
gonna,
large crystal, fist-sized in the. There's 2 of them actually.
I'm gonna
in each altar.
blow my kin colors one.
All right. As an action, you pull out this horn and begin.
Just literally
Oh.
right on me.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Summoning these 2 allies to you, and do you give them a verbal command?
Yeah. So the redhead one, he's gonna try to throw one of the crystals. He's gonna touch it, try to pull it out, and he's gonna try to throw it at the mammoth.
Okay. So these 2 warriors, one a young redheaded human, the other looks to be some sort of Aasimar. They both are wielding the same axe as you. These spiritual ancestors form and materialize briefly by the summon of your call. As one of them heads out and begins reaching out and touches this crystal to try to pick it up and throw it, you watch as he does. His axe ignites with you watch as the head of it, which was previously steel with small gilded elements, now is all obscured by bright red flames. And he's going to attempt to throw the crystal or throw his axe at this point.
Throw the crystal.
Okay. Let me go ahead and make that strength check. Okay. You watch as reaching in, trying to touch this one, you watch as some of the power fades from the first crystal, but having already imbued the weapon, he reaches in, pulls out the second crystal, and is going to... You said at the mammoth?
Yeah.
Chunk this at the mammoth.
The poor thing.
How many dexterity saving throw from our monk? Don't worry, Titus also fails.
19.
19 is a success. You're going to take half damage.
No damage.
You take no damage because of evasion. 7, 10, 11. You watch as Titus and the mammoth are... this crystal flies through the air, shatters against the mammoth, and it explodes in a blast of fiery magic. They both are going to take quite a bit of damage, which they do not appreciate.
Was it like a fireball, basically?
It was a much smaller effect. You would say it was probably about a 5 foot or 10 foot by 10 foot square. Of this.
I wonder if it would have been bigger if I hit it some more.
That's a
Or would
very
have exploded.
interesting question. Maybe it has some relation to the spell slot. I don't know. I'm just the DM. I don't know at all what you're talking about.
The other ancestor is going to push the the one into the wall again?
So that's going to be an 11 versus the orc's 19. So unfortunately, that one's not able to shove. However, given that command that you're here, it's going to attempt again. And not a good roll, but a natural one on the orc. She's going to move back, and this time, as she strikes, the reflective, this strange, repulsive effect that the electric magic around the arena is even more amplified. As it fires out, she's going to take. Okay, she takes some more damage, getting struck against this, and it looks like she's pretty hurt, making her Constitution saving throw. It's a natural 2. You watch as the light fades. It was only 5 points of damage, but I cannot roll that bad. If I roll that bad, you lose them anyways. She's looking pretty darn hurt. So that was your action to blow the horn. You commanded these two people. Anything else on your turn? I believe that's going to be it for what you're actually
Bonus action spit again?
Bonus action spit. Gross. Well, we no longer that was Theodore. It is then going to be Titus and Meat's turn. Meat is stunned until your turn. Is that correct, Dewdrops? I don't appreciate.
Till the end of my next turn.
Dewdrops are falling.
I'm gonna have to use Titus, and I can only hit 2 people. I would yes. Oh, I thought you were asking a question.
No.
So I'm gonna split my attacks. I'm gonna attack the blinded monk once, and I'm gonna attack Jorson once.
Question: can we remove that from the field?
Oh yes.
Okay.
Of course. My apologies.
That's okay. I just wanted to make sure.
Yes, that one stone altar, its crystals depleted, does begin to descend back into the arena. First, we're gonna make a flat roll against Jorson. Jorson, that is an 18 to hit, which is a miss.
That's a miss.
Bringing this blade around, this massive man-sized weapon, as it's coming towards you, Victoria, that's gonna... I need you to make me a Constitution saving throw, and I need anyone who'd like to consider spending bicycles, consider spending bicycles. Or DM inspiration here. This is a con save.
If I buy you dinner,
I'm good.
You sure?
I'm good.
DC is 18.
Math 20.
Ah.
As this weapon is coming towards you, it strikes into your shoulder, digging deep, and you feel for you hear a snap as it breaks through something in there. Your arm injured, but still attached to you.
He was about to take my arm off, by the way, in case anybody was wondering.
I need that to play the harp.
You at home were wondering.
You can hold it with one hand and strum it with your tail, right?
no, actually, she's gonna bite it from now on.
Is your tail like that?
I don't have a prehensile tail.
So that's gonna be
I'm a cat.
39 points of slashing damage.
He's dead.
No.
I'm killing him.
Oh.
You're supposed to be the kind cat.
I believe you mean you're using your reaction.
Yes.
Killer
Your leg is engulfed in flames. Your claws stretch out a little bit longer, and your fangs begin to emerge. Using that special mark, what was your to hit? You have advantage on this roll,
Oh, I have advantage.
and you had disadvantage. It should have been a flat roll.
Oh,
so just
sorry.
go ahead and roll a flat roll for me.
Flat roll, okay.
And then if you'd like, you may spend that bicycle that
Oh,
Alex
no,
offered you.
Thank you, Alex, but I appreciate it. It'll be a 22 to hit.
22 to hit, absolutely hits. You bring down this massive claw strike. Are you using any of your other monk abilities on top of this attack?
Probably.
Yeah.
They are stackable.
Yeah, I'm gonna spend a key point and stun the guy.
Is that 20?
It's a natural 7.
Okay, he fails.
Yeah, no, he fails. He does not have a plus 10 to this. This is disgusting what's happening.
I love
I
monks now.
love it.
I'm enjoying it.
If you roll poorly in stun saves, it's pretty bad. You've been paralyzed
28
before.
points of damage.
You 28?
Me.
All right.
I don't heal off of this. I just did it out of spite.
Oh, I wasn't sure if you're going to use that.
No,
effect as well.
it doesn't apply for the reaction swing. It only
Oh.
applies to the action swing.
Great.
Is that called Spiteful Strike?
Blood fury.
Oh.
Yeah, it's your Blood Fury brand.
It's
You
really spiteful
strike at
strike.
Titus. He's quite hurt by it. It doesn't look like he's like the most hardy individual you've ever faced, because he's got this mammoth. He's relying on his allies and everything.
I'm bloodied.
Meat can't do anything. I used my War Spear attack, War Glaive attack, excuse me. So that's actually going to be his turn because he can't move.
Have we skipped you?
No,
No, I've been-
his Fist is initiative 11, which is now.
Yeah.
Fist, you're in the lamp.
Bonus action, I pop out. Now able to see, I believe.
You should drop your lamp
You missed a
into the
lot.
well.
There's a shiny box next to you.
Did y'all miss me?
There is now a glowing pedestal of arcane power next to you, a well, if you will.
Hey, hit the well.
Be honest, did anyone
Hit the
notice
well.
she was gone?
Jorson, that hurts. That hurts, Jorson.
Look, she's getting a pay.
Not
I
the
just noticed I was gone.
It's so offensively not the sound that
It just- it
that
makes
hawks
me
make.
Oh, he's also stunned.
She did the stunning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ouch.
Question. How high up is
About 10 feet.
Dewey?
Do
Yeah,
drop?
about 10 feet.
Same height as our meat riding friend?
Right, she's standing on Meat's head.
Okay. So there's no way I can place a fireball without hitting her.
No, you can just put it up like 30 feet.
You can also just hit me. It's okay.
I don't want to kill you.
Absolutely, hit the monk. It's so fun.
Hit the monk.
She has dex.
Do it,
Do you
no
have more
fear.
reactions?
Dex, evasion.
Evasion.
Touch the crystal first.
I really want to do this. So
Do you want to touch the crystal first?
You didn't see what it
I would
does.
like to touch the crystal and,
I want your.
and think very fiery.
You don't have a bonus action, do you?
I don't.
You don't have anything to give me?
I will give you some
I'll give a
I'll give you
bicycle.
3 elemental gifts.
Huh?
I'll give a bicycle.
I'll take a bicycle for nonsense. Absolutely.
I don't know what I'm getting for
I
this.
like
I'm giving you the bonus action to you reach over, place one of your palms along atop this, and begin siphoning out the magical energy of this arcane crystal.
I'm thinking very fiery thoughts.
You're gonna have advantage in the save. They're gonna have disadvantage in the save.
And I'm gonna cast fireball at 5th level.
With
Thank you,
rude.
Connor, for the
60-foot
dice.
radius.
Oh, I haven't rolled this many d6s in so long.
It's been a minute.
Beautiful.
I failed.
You know it's bad when we're like giggling like school children.
Nobody giggles for once.
10,
There was no ones.
20.
Ow! 20? You're gonna die.
At this point,
30.
Amaryllis just cheering out. The battle is getting intense with so many of the number down and their leader incapacitated. Will our champions be able to handle these interlopers?
It's not max, I'll be honest,
Oh my god.
Good.
but it is 49.
What's half? I failed, so I take half damage.
49 is 25 points of damage. 24 points of
How are
damage,
you
excuse me.
looking? How's our cat looking?
I'm alive.
I can reduce it. I'll reduce it.
Using your reaction to reduce it by 3d6 or 2d6.
I'm sorry,
I forgot.
47.
3d6.
47.
Okay, so one less point of
13.
damage,
Yeah.
Victoria.
13, so I gain 14 because
Yes.
of less point.
Okay. 47.
Oh, I'm really healthy. 34.
Nice. Half my hit points.
Yeah. I'm at a quarter.
And
started at
did that
101.
manage to hit our good friend over there as well?
You were trying to hit Agrippa as well. I did not realize. My apologies. I can have her roll the save. That's not a problem.
Did it hit the crystal too?
Yeah,
Uh,
it
It
would have.
would've.
As you strike in the center of here with those things there, and this is people ask me all these questions get in between the interactions. As you begin casting the spell, imbuing yourself with all of this arcane might stored from your dear friend Archie, rippling outward, this massive explosion, it does quite hurt your monk, like a lot. But as it does, underneath the under vessel here
Should have blinked.
begins bursting out with more of the flames. Agrippa is going to make trying to make her save. That is a 16. Fail, I think. It's a fail.
Fail.
Taking how much?
47.
47 points of damage. That is going to break the first threshold, which was going to have to reveal what was underneath Agrippa's illusion.
Oh, I'm about to heal a lot, aren't I?
That's a big orc.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
As she reels, green mist flying off of her, her true form is revealed.
That's why they-
Agrippa, the wood giant. What was that?
That's why the arrows are so big.
Right?
That's why the arrows are so big.
Yeah.
You figured it out. However, she's so hurt.
The wood giant?
still
Yeah.
have a spell
Do you remember when she
It's like a
she
fork.
took a little bit more damage earlier? That
Fire.
a little bit of fire you did earlier
Yeah.
seemed particularly
This was
effective.
all fire damage.
I know. That's why she's taken so much damage.
Let me check my spell sheet for fire.
Do I have an object interaction left?
No, I'm gonna say no to that.
That's fair.
I
Very
think that's
fair.
fine.
Cool. I'm done.
Okay. From there, Fist, revealing the ace in the hole of Titus, his giant ally, is now going to be Dewdrop's turn. Dewdrops!
I'm blind. I'm swinging with disadvantage.
You charge or you hear big boots walking around.
Swing number.
Follow the smell of
Yeah,
burnt
there's
wood.
nothing to get rid of blindness.
It's just at the it goes away on Catella's turn.
12.
12 is a miss.
I killed the caster.
Caster's only been attacked a couple times.
21.
21 hits.
Using the brand.
All right, striking up against her. Oh, you need the healing so bad.
You need to die.
Hey, do me a favor, Victoria.
Yeah.
Roll
It's right
all
there.
the attacks you plan on doing this turn.
It's on the
Okay.
You wanna
right
do
there by the book. Yeah.
Ooh.
That I rolled a nat 20, but it'll be a 28
Hit. So it's 2 hits.
and a math 20.
Okay.
Blind
How,
still hit
how
it.
many brands are you using and how many other things are you using?
3 brands, a stunning strike, and 2 shoves.
That sounds like a Taco Bell order. Can I get 3 brands?
Do you
2 stuff
perhaps
shots,
have
and
murder on your mind?
I'm very injured.
She's
So-
an angry
I think I'm okay. 20 and 21 for my con saves.
There was strength, but yeah,
You
you're
crit-
good.
Oh, there's strength? Then I need to. 1 second.
Just
Uh,
one con save for the stunning strike, and then 2 shove saves for their strength.
Oh, I rolled 2 con saves, so I'm just going to start over. 2 strength saves.
Yeah.
13 and 17.
You get shoved into the wall.
Okay, I'll roll that in a second. And then the con save. 29.
You're good. Okay, so
You're rolling crazy con saves the whole time.
You crit on one of those hits, didn't you?
no, because I have disadvantage.
As she's knocked back into the wall, oh no! The wall continues to amplify even more here. Every time it's adding more damage to how much it's dealing here.
31. Do I need to separate necrotic from slash?
No. 11, 31.
29.
Okay.
29. I would like to.
Oh
I would
wait,
like to
wait. Plus
mention-
5. 34.
I'd like to mention the item she's using is legendary. It's very powerful. The magical brand.
Picking up on that.
But extra dice are great. Everyone likes having extra damage dice,
Right?
it seems.
When can I get a brand in our regular sessions?
Never. Silas has nothing. I'm just kidding. I love him to death.
He has a personality.
7.
It's more than Decipher.
Didn't you just get a
32.
I was gonna say, yeah, he has a materia slotted hammer.
Is that 265? You're above 100
You're
already.
fully healed?
I went from a third of my health to 3 points under max health.
Your
How
arm
much
is
damage
actually
total
grown
did you just do?
completely back.
30 plus 40 plus 40.
She's
something.
taken this much damage. She's taken 280 hit points of damage.
I just did a lot of damage.
How many hit
She's
points
on
do you have at
death's
max?
door.
You punched the
So
panel.
that was
Unbelievable!
2 more key points, 3 uses of the blink, 3 uses of blood fury.
As you continue up, you now see this figure appears off to the side in the stands in a beautiful, lavish, and gilded box seat. He sits atop a wide throne, one structured just for his round form. An ancient figure, gold scales, long noodly appendages, a reptilian form. Fortie the half-dragon, the coin bearer and patron of the Battlesphere, is now watching.
Do I disappear?
Do you disappear?
No. Dang it.
As you stand there, Dewdrops.
That's the only thing I hate about Blink.
Yeah.
It's hard to know.
You're not consistent.
Dewdrops, unbeknownst to you, you are now being observed by the benefactor. I don't know how you feel about Fortie from what you've heard. It's the first time that most of you would have seen him. He's now watching a massive gate behind his very throne, sitting there. Those of you who can see like this gelatinous form wiggling around underneath his big purple coat. This is a quite rotund half dragon.
Is there a line of children waiting to sit on his lap?
Give me all your bicycles.
He's
No, don't literally. It's fine.
I did like 100 damage.
Yeah, you
Did
murder.
good.
You
They feel
murder.
really good. It's
Killer
fun
cat.
having lots of attacks.
I'm down with it.
Killer
I'm
cat.
down with it too
Killer
now.
Cat.
Down
doing a bunch of
Agathis.
violence. We're then going to move to Jorson. Jorson, this battle looks like it's on its last legs. You guys might take the championship and be able to claim a prize.
How do you guys feel about making a couple of deck saves?
I'm good.
I feel good about it.
I'm
as
good
long
now.
as I can
Okay.
see it.
Can I?
The spirit guard, the ancestral guardians you summon look at you like, what?
Can I
cannot
cast fireball?
Fireball.
Fireball.
I'll make my deck save.
When do I get fireball?
You can't fireball? No. This is the
Natural
fireball.
20 on Catella.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Failed.
It's a 5 on the die for the one remaining orc. And Agrippa,
D6s.
that's, hey, after modifiers, that's a 6.
Can I use a charge to give him disadvantage on the saving throw?
Yes, I'm gonna re-roll those.
Okay.
So that means already Agrippa, the orc, have failed. We're only gonna bother re-rolling.
No.
Okay. That is dexterity saving throw on Catella. 17.
That's a success.
13. I'm the least
Girl boss, girl boss, girl boss, girl boss.
Cinch cat, cinch cat, cinch cat, cinch cat.
Coco's very happy to be here. Go ahead and roll that damage. I'm gonna go ahead and roll some of the other the guardians. 1 pass, 1 fail. Big numbers.
26.
You pass, you'll take half.
I have a +9 and I got a 13.
Mathematics.
25. No, 23.
18 plus 8 is
23.
It appears that our heroes are frozen by math. No, Amaryllis is cheering, calling out,
37.
bidding is the betting has closed.
Just let them punch each other until one of them is very bloody and be like, I bet on the not.
Wait,
What am I doing wrong?
But Amaryllis calling out all of the people freaking out. There's a wood giant actually fighting here.
33.
You guys are struggling. I think that the cooperation did not help.
No.
Yeah. 33 points of fire.
33 points of damage.
Are you sure?
Couple things.
Fire damage.
With half.
First, I'm afraid
No.
I'm afraid one of these guys explodes.
His axe was on fire.
His axe was on fire. Agrippa,
How do you like them apples?
33.
Yeah.
So is that 66?
Agrippa, you watch as she's knocked back by the sheer force. As she strikes into that purple wall you saw before, it bursts outwards. It'll technically be on top of that. Such massive overkill. As she strikes through it, breaking through, she begins falling down the shaft past all of the other people. You hear people going wild as Agrippa has lost her magic.
Spirit shield.
Things are looking very spirit shield.
Yeah.
One of your ancestors,
The red-haired one grabbed
The
her
red-
while she was falling.
the red one, turns into a ghost after being defeated, falls after her in order to, and you feel not quite the spell Featherfall, but begin to protect her in order to avoid that damage becoming
hits the
lethal.
ground.
Is
And he
21
bursts.
half?
Yeah, 21 would be half the damage.
Okay.
Wait, what are you asking?
If 21
She
was
got
half
hit.
of 33.
What?
16.
16. I love you so much.
I realized as I
Very fun.
I realized as I
Thank
said
you.
it.
I feel better about struggling.
Do you feel seen?
On
Do you both feel seen after that?
Victoria and I
No, I
frequently
just-
collaborate on counting.
All right.
The second I said it out loud, I realized it had to be too high.
Guys, Catella is here.
I know math.
Catella is next. And Catella is going to do. I'm going to call this just death throws at this point. I'm about to need a lot of saving throws.
All right.
But we're going to play a fun game.
What about
You-
the caster?
That's
That's
Catella.
Catella.
Oh, that's Catella?
Yes. I can't
Thought that
hit
was
everyone. But I am going to go ahead. Let me just check real quick.
Pick your
5,
favorites.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. Cool. I can hit everyone besides Archibald. Or
I've been bloodied twice.
If you survive
60.
this, I'll give
Exactly
you 50 gold
60.
to hit them, not me.
So I have to choose to exclude. Yes, I have to either exclude the monk or exclude Archibald. Archibald, I think think I'm gonna be excluding you from this one because she has been because the monk because Dewdrop took out the leader.
She just made 50 gold. I was gonna pay her not to kill me.
I'm gonna ask for every player to roll me a D8 as she begins casting as a cone of brilliant light. All these different colors fire out.
Ooh.
As these rays of light, these prismatic sprays.
Is this a spell?
This is a spell.
Could I ask her to surrender and that we won't kill her?
I'm gonna say no. As she begins casting this wave of light over you, I do have to ask it, Connor, are you trying to stop me?
I don't think I can, because I think I've already cast 3 third-level spells. I cast lightning, I cast Tasha's at 3rd, and then the
fireball.
So
I
don't have
do
any
believe
spell
you're
slots.
correct. There's no reactions for counterspell available, huh?
You don't have.
My shell of power doesn't have
No, I
to
used
be
it
a
for
free
false
action.
An action to use. I did say that one before the session. Unfortunately, as this wave of light goes out, I'll tell you this, she has less than 15 hit points. Which, let's go over to the table talking about it. I want to start with Clella, because Clella made a face when I asked what the 1.
A 1.
Excellent. Red. You have to remember your color.
Prismatic.
It's prismatic spray. You see that. I almost said Ibra. Wow. You see that Fist is struck by a beam of a ray of red light. Jorson?
6.
Indigo. You're struck by an indigo beam. I'm gonna go ahead to Dewdrop.
4.
That is green.
Am I getting hit by
You're not getting hit by Archie. And finally, we're going to have Theodore.
Was there a
You roll a D8.
was there a save?
No, we're not.
Okay.
It changes
there
based on
yet.
every raid does something different.
Yep.
Okay, so 2 runs. That's red. So 4, 5, 6. Can I have 4 D6?
Who's 3?
They're calm wisdom.
You cannot hold on to your dice tonight.
Sorry, I know I don't need to roll
Oh,
this,
you're
but I
talking
absolutely
spells.
wanted to get to roll my
I just
10
remember what the
D6.
save is for this one. Or if it's just
It hit the back of my heel.
I
My back of my right
never
heel.
took this spell.
Actually, maybe it's my foot.
26.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
It's got chaotic on our hand.
All I know is I'm taking half.
So it's 41 points of fire damage to the people with the red. Hold, just remember. So first. Oh, rude. Excuse me, back.
I'm
First off,
immune to fire
I'll need a
damage.
dexterity saving throw. I'll need a dexterity saving throw from. Actually, from everyone. All of you will make me a dex save.
Can I see it?
Yes, you can see it.
You know what's annoying? Because it went from 13 to 5. No. I got a 9.
9 fail.
14.
That is a fail.
13.
Fail.
21.
Pass. So you'll take half that damage. What did I say? 46?
41.
41.
41. You'll take 20 points of damage. You take none because you're immune to fire damage. I'm gonna do Connor last.
Feels so good.
Victoria, what color? What was your color? Green. You take 41 points of poison damage.
Immune.
Immune. This is incredible. You're struck by them and fully face tank it. Finally, Connor, I need Jorson to make me a Constitution saving throw.
Wait,
What kind of damage is this?
It's not damage.
Oh.
You are restrained.
Level 2. Immune to disease.
And I'm kind of hand waving something.
Can't roll anything above single digits. Con save 7.
Cool. We'll talk about what that is in a little bit as we go here. That was Catella's turn. She puts her hands down.
You can yield. Just a reminder.
Looking at all of you, seeing what's going on, looking down at the slowly falling giant being held up by a spirit guardian.
I suppose it's time for me to yield.
She puts up her hand, one normal, one wicked and clawed. And with that, you hear.
I say nope. I turn my axe around and I hit her with the wood part, like just as hard. Just as hard. Like
Alex, you
just
absolutely-
hard enough to knock her out,
You
but
fully
not kill
club
her.
your opponent unconscious as Amy calls out, and in a massive upset that the house may never recover from, we have new champions on floor 21! And people are going absolutely crazy. You hear hooting and hollering. People are throwing their bet tickets out over to the side in disgust. There are people who might have maybe made quite a bit of coin off you freaking out. And the arena itself begins rotating over to the side, and you see Fortie sitting there on his chair, ready, waiting, proud to greet the new champions of level 21. You are battered, bloodied.
Nope.
Okay, Alex, you need some little.
I'm not bloodied either, actually.
I'm
Go ahead
also
and
not
bring us in
bloody.
here.
I've been
40,
bloodied twice.
40's over here. You've been what?
I've been bloodied
Yeah,
twice.
Went down one
I
hit
have an
point.
accomplishment. I'm a warlock, and I still have a single spell slot left.
That's insane.
That's
You're a
good.
lamp.
You left the dimension for a little
I
while.
also-
That's part
Yeah.
of it.
Didn't
Wait,
use
you
any
make her
cantrips.
pay for that reason?
Or including.
Okay. With that,
At least most of my key points.
you all, people losing their mind. There are flowers of all different colors. Some of them unfamiliar to you from strange planes. They're being thrown out. People seem, even though some people who may have lost some money here, people seem really excited for whatever new era in this arena that you will all bring. If you choose to stay here as champions, what new challenges shall you face? And with that, you all begin heading over towards Fortie, towards the grand patron of the Battlesphere.
Every 6 seconds I disappear because I don't know how to turn it off for the next 12 seconds or 18 seconds.
You begin doing that. Now, I did mention, Connor, what's going on here. There's a brief moment where you begin to slow a little bit as your body begins turning into to stone. But given the battle is over here, you're able to focus, and eventually the effect is quelled.
Good.
He breathes through it.
No, truthfully, it's the person casting the spell was able to release its effect.
Once they got knocked out.
Nope.
Yeah. So as you're here, able to walk over this small bridge that emerges, this metallic, but much more gilded. Everything here is polished. You swear for a moment, looking around, it looks like the ornamentation of the ground is made of platinum and electrum, brought together in these beautiful, sweeping motions. Fortie stands there, surrounded by beautiful statues of. You see a massive the sculpture of a massive red dragon, wings wide, claws extended, breathing a torrent of flame. You see what looks to be a collection of heroes throughout the ages who fought here.
You've come far. I have been watching your career in my sphere with great interest. Now, champions, what do you desire from little old Fortie? You there. Oh, where did she go? Ah, there you are.
I can't figure out how to make it stop. Every time I come back, also, by the way, the item says that the bell keeps ringing while I'm back.
Help me.
It's weirdly in tune.
Way more than me.
You pop back, he holds out this cane. It's a long, thin, transparent, like quartz crystalline cane. He holds it out towards you.
Grab this.
You stay locked in this plane.
Great. So we can have anything we want.
Of course. Well, whatever I can provide.
He flips the cane in his hand and leans it back. At this point, you can feel the platform you're on begins to move. People are still yelling, but as it begins rotating outwards, you feel like everyone else starts to get quieter. The din of the crowd becomes just muted a little bit, and you're able to have a little bit of peace here while talking to Fortie. Even though the lights are going crazy, people are going absolutely insane. Here, there's a moment of respite.
What do you want, little furry child?
So I get lost a whole bunch, and I was wondering if I could get like a compass, and the compass pointed me to where I wanted to go because I can't remember. Okay, I'm a little embarrassed. They're all gonna make fun of me, but I can't remember where home is, like what continent it's on,
All right.
and I don't know how to get home.
He stands for a moment, and as he turns and takes a few steps back to this massive gilded gate, it's behind him. It's moving with the platform you're currently on. Fortie takes a moment and steps up to the golden platform, the golden door behind him that moves along even as his platform still is rotating around. And he reaches his hand through the vault itself. And as he pulls it back, there's a small cylinder rounded out with blackened leather, gold thread looped through it.
I hope you don't mind a bit of embellishment upon your request. But not only shall this seek what you were looking for, but it will help you find something you do not yet know you are seeking.
Thank you so much. The most important item an adventurer could ever possibly wish for is a compass.
I see you've studied your histories well. And you, Archibald of the Tostric Sea, what do you demand from this old dragon bones?
Unfortunately, I can't ask for anything for myself at this time. I owe a rather unpleasant lady a bit of dues.
Yes, the bitch queen of the sea has been quite furious with you, has she not?
Yes, but if memory serves, she was quite furious with another group of people before me.
Oh, she's cursed countless adventurers, heroes, and pirates who can't pay their dues.
I was wondering if you could help me pay my due and get on her good side. I believe she lost a star at some point. Any chance you could help me get that back for her?
Well, my vault does not contain the Star of Umberley, being that it is an entire continent.
Right! Let me just sink red.
Gloria's over here freaking out.
I can offer you the bubble city of Amatel.
It's a start, but I think we can come to agreement there.
He nods at you, again reaching in. He pulls out this long tube. It almost looks like a ship in a bottle, but where you would normally expect to see small sails and a boat, instead you see what looks to be like a. Have you seen one of those bottled environments? Like it's an ecosystem in a bottle, except there's dotted with little villages. All this tiny, looks like a diorama.
I believe this place in the sea would make a most pleasing gift to your patron.
Well, thank you.
Would you like to continue to fight in my arena? I promise only stronger challenges.
Yeah.
A man of few words. Do you ask anything of me, Theodore?
You have something. You have a musical instrument that might replace her broken one.
I have the harp of the Taladrin College, but would you mind a summer instrument? Would that be fine with you? A bit elvish in make?
Oh yeah, I speak Sylvan. Do you speak Sylvan? We could chat back and forth.
I speak many things.
Can I rename it?
It was named by some of the first elves to be granted the Mark of Summer,
So yes.
but it is yours to do with as you wish.
it is now called Cat's Call.
Very well! The histories are rewritten by the strong.
He pulls out a beautiful, somewhat floating, this wooden harp that as it moves, there's a gentle breeze that fills this small area you're within. And you feel almost as if you could pluck it without touching it, like as if reaching to move would create a symphony on its own.
I am excited to see how you tune this.
As he moves it, this harp is your height. It floats nearby. You're able to move it along with you.
I need to get some soft paws.
She
They're
picks
called
it up.
gloves.
She's like, "Oh my gosh!" Ting 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 ting.
Basically. Not that skill. I'll play for you before your battles.
No
Now.
thanks.
Now. Normally, whenever exchange are before me, they simply ask for coin. Do you want of anything further?
I don't want coin.
He looks at you, raising. There's no hair, but this one large bit of his draconic brow lifts up.
I want you to give me something the exchange can't. Farron. I want her back alive. Unmodified memory. She's gonna be pissed, and I look forward to it.
Reaches behind him, pulls out a very small, thin scroll, places it down, and then from his coat pocket procures this diamond. Places it down.
It will be done.
Okay.
Mr. Alcesti, what does a former magister wish from the Battlesphere?
So, knowing that I am a magister, I do seek a ninth circle cage key. I believe you have it in your vault.
Let me speak with him.
He stands up and turns, and you watch as he, reaching into the vault, begins spreading and opening this vault. The door itself kind of melding away as if it was an illusion being dispelled. And as he does, he quickly has to move back and catch this small, glowing sphere of light. It's pulsating blue-white and then a pale green.
Hush now.
Closes it in his palm, and as he does, even through his claws and his fingers, you still see the light seeping through.
This child should be able to find whatever cage you are seeking. It is a spirit of freedom. It will find that which wishes it. And I do not believe that the ones who hold that one will be able to stop it.
He takes that, plucks a scale from his arm, and you watch as curling into the palm of his hand, forcing it in, you hear the tiniest little squeak for a brief moment as he folds a golden dragon scale all the way around a bit of light, pinching it closed. Breathing a tiny bit of fire to seal it, and places the bit of warmed gold in your hand.
Leave it near the cage. The spirit shall do the rest.
Thank you.
And tell your companion I said hello and to get the hell off my sphere.
I think he's already aware of what you've just said.
Taking a few steps forward,
Our new champions!
Fortie turns to you,
Let's celebrate.
and once again, now that the spell dismissed, you can hear the crowds cheering. People, just this excited, frantic sense. What new stories await for all of you? And maybe someday we'll find out. But for tonight, here amidst the celebration, new prizes and new adventures ahead of you, we're gonna end our session. Ting ting ting. As the former elven artifact begins playing us out, I want to thank each and every one of you for coming and playing this one shot here today. It was a lot of fun. I want to thank you all at home who are watching or listening to this for coming along with us for tonight's journey. And hey, if you liked us, I'd love to mention that if you do what we're doing, come check out our social media, follow us there, or if you would like to support us, you can subscribe to us on Twitch or become a patron over on Patreon. Everything you do that helps out with the show is going to be used for us to get new miniatures or procure new cameras or recording equipment just to make the show a little bit better and help us have more shows like this. This actually, for those of you who may not know, this one shot that you're listening to right now is actually the result of all of the support we've received from the tabletop community and one of our recent Twitch subscriber goals. So if you can and you're interested in supporting us, we'd really appreciate it. Regardless of your support or not, we hope you have a wonderful night. And hey, next Friday we're gonna have another session, And depending on when you're listening to this, we're most likely having a session that Friday as well.
7 p.m.
7 p.m. Central
CT.
Time.
Yeah.
And thank you for making this happen, guys. We really appreciate everybody who's been tuning in, everybody who's been listening, everybody who subscribed to make us hit this goal. And
I wanna
for us
tell more
get to play
stories.
this. Yeah.
You want to tell more stories?
I want to see more
Absolutely.
girl bosses.
Also,
Also, gotta figure out what the hell Jorson is up to.
also check us out on Sundays.
Yeah.
We do footnotes where we discuss kind of game mechanics, also a little bit more backstory to our live sessions.
Maybe next time we
There's
have
secrets.
Connor for footnotes, we'll talk about what Jorson's up to.
I know.
Or
I
maybe
need-
we'll leave Clulla in suspense.
Yeah.
You'll have to come check us out on the footnotes to find out. With that, I think we're going to say goodnight. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Bye.